Hello there, hello there, hello there. Don't know why I said it like that. That was entirely unnecessary. Yes, welcome one and all. As you can see, I'm not technically on screen, although I am on screen, but it's a still image. But my camera is not on screen because of Normal Island. You know the routine by now. Yeah, I'm not going to bother explaining it because it's boring. But anyway, the point being, you'll see my moving face shortly. Yes. And we've got lots more sounds on the soundboard. I've basically half filled it up. Although apparently you can put them into...
Stop it. Get some
maybe
help.
I should wait with a story, and maybe I should. Apparently you can put it into folders and have, you know, essentially a sort of infinite number. Or within reason infinite. A lot of sets. But I don't think I'll need that many. Yes, so we'll be doing Normal Island with Curtis on the Turning Point Lefts UK, and then watching the Mamdani debate because I mean you've probably already seen it on someone else's stream, but I don't give a fuck. I want to watch it, so it's happening. Yes, and get ready for more talk about Birmingham, of which. That's very quiet. I should probably turn that up a little bit. But anyway, rats. Yeah. Rats. But first...
Where are we going? Garbage Island.
Very much so. Yes. Put a really heavy Brummy accent on. No, because that would just sound sarcastic and silly. I mean, I could do it. It is in my bag of tricks, but I don't really want to. Thank you. Anyway, but yes, so we'll be doing that shortly. Yes, I've got some things to say about the topic. Which, by the way, you should all go and check out No Justice. Put the clip out of, I said the clip, the bit from the show at the end of last night's stream where we watched, not watched, but where we reacted to a certain story about football. Now, you might think to yourself, football, not interested. Trust me, you are interested in this story, because it's not really about football. It's about everything but football. Except it's technically about football. But not really. But kind of, but not really. Anyway, yes, so you can stick around for all of that. It should be a good time in the house tonight. What the fuck am I talking about? What am I talking about, chat?
Very, very, very cringe.
Thank you. Oliver Brown, you look good in that Adidas top, Kev. No, I don't. No, I absolutely do not. Like, usually I'd try and take the compliment, but, I mean, you're just incorrect. And why did I look into the camera? I'm not even on the fucking camera. God, I'm a knob. Anyway, if you want to help this knobhead, and the channel of which technically Wayward Historian runs, let's be honest. I'm just the dickhead in front of the camera. But anyway, thank you to Wayward Historian for resubscribing. 56 months. Far too many months. Far too many. I don't know what's going on there. Crazy news. Anyhow, Prince Andrew gives up royal titles including Duke of York and discussions with King. Well, until he's in jail, I don't, that's not justice, that's nothing. He's a sweaty nonce who deserves to spend the rest of his life in jail for being a sweaty nonce and doing sweaty nonce related activities with other sweaty nonces. And he deserves to be in jail for lying really pathetically as well. Like, really embarrassingly.
Oh, I was in a Pizza Express in Woking, and I can't sweat.
Yeah, we totally believe you, Andy. Honest, mate. Get in the fucking prison, you cunt.
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt!
Honestly, Journeying Jordan, by sending me the Stream Deck, has enhanced this show, and not necessarily in a good way. Oh, did I not announce it in the Discord? Oh, sucker fucking fat cock. He's live now, isn't he? The fucker is streaming. Get his ass. Certified knob behaviour. I mean, yeah, kinda, I guess. Oh, that's the fucking... Oh, God. Fucking death to America. In Minecraft. But only in Minecraft, okay? I mean, technically, that's not even a threat, is it, really? Because America isn't a person. There you go, I've announced it to the Discord. Although I've said I'm going live. Hang on. I'm live right now. Fuck's sake, I'm shit at this. Suck all of my fucking anuses and then shit on my chest. Right. Right. Why do I bother getting on time? We were a minute past when we were supposed to start. We're a minute past when we were supposed to start on fucking Normal Island show, and he still hasn't even sent me the link to the thing. There it is. Fuck me sideways. Can YouTube censor chat message? Yeah, it can. Yeah. It can indeed. And it will on occasion. I don't have any filters on it, so like, if it gets censored, it's some shit YouTube's putting on it. But yeah, it can do. Yeah, that's all right. That's all good. Skadoosh.
And it's still showing layer 1. Then remove layer 1, and then it shows the one beneath. Sometimes when you're actually clicking on, if you open layer 1 and you've got it highlighted, right, on your screen it's only going to show the layer you've highlighted for your benefit, but for the viewers it will be what's got the eye opening. So
right, okay.
It might be confusing, but yeah, usually just go layer 1 and then layer 2, but no one can see layer 2. Obviously for you, if you click on layer 2, it's going to show it for you, but for others you can't. When you click off of it, it's going to still have the top layer, and then you just close the eye of the top layer, and then the second one appears.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Curtis, when you're around, I can never close my eyes.
Oh, here he is. I
'Cause
can't close my eyes too.
Because I'm scared that you're going to attack me.
Why would I ever do that? I'd never fucking do that to you. I'd attack you with fucking hugs.
Oh,
okay,
beautiful. Hello, Lewis. I'd attack you with hugs as well, both of you, together.
Are you live? Are you live?
You are live on my end, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Please
shit,
do
what
not
is it?
play. Is it really millennial that every time somebody says yes, you are live, the immediate thing is just to go to Bo Selector? It's very millennial, isn't it? Or,
It is,
Yeah.
that is the most
Gen X.
millennial thing, yeah.
yeah. Please do not say fuck or
Oh,
bugger.
bugger.
1 sec. No, so I've just messed up on that. 1 sec. I just messed up.
Have you?
So yeah. No, so you said show layer 1, and then if you show layer 2, I can immediately see layer 2.
Yeah, because for you on your end, you've literally clicked on layer 2 where it's got the blue outline.
Yeah.
Yeah. For your benefit, the software shows you the layer you've clicked on, but if you were to click away, it will go back to layer 1. It's confusing like that. So if
Yeah.
you
1 second. Because I could see it on your side. So I'm showing layer 1 right now.
yeah.
And then I need to click the eye on layer 2.
Uh-huh.
Does
Now,
it change
me,
for you?
No. So for me, I still see layer 1.
Right. Okay, so because for me, I see layer 2 now. That's
do,
so annoying. That's
Because
so annoying.
you've got layer 2 highlighted on your end. So if I were to do the same, right, if I'm clicking on layer 2, I can see
And they
layer
can't
2,
even hear
but
that.
for everyone else, they can't. But it's because I've clicked on it. It's trying to do it for your benefit, but I actually think it makes it more confusing because then you assume other people can see the layer you're on. Whereas actually, you just need to look at the eye and see what's stacked above it, and that's where you can see who sees what.
Right, okay.
Callum
because if
prefers to do studio mode, where instead of doing it that way, he will
I'm just gonna press it again.
close layer 1 and highlight layer 2, then click transition, and then it's like an extra few steps.
By the
but
way,
maybe-
you
Yeah,
can give
I
me
hate
money
live
for this
streaming,
amazing
okay.
content,
fair enough.
chat.
Okay, 1 second.
Chat, you can give me the money for this amazing content in the form of bits and subs and super chats and messages. Yeah, it's awesome.
Get confused by how to layer them properly. But yeah,
it's
that's
okay.
the
I was
boring thing that
playing
we're
with my.
fixing right
I've
now.
got a
You're
new.
muted, by the way, Kevin.
I
I'm
think
guessing
he's
he's talking
speaking
to his
on his own,
audience.
isn't
Yeah, I've got a new soundboard, so I was just playing the Homer Simpson shouting "nerd" at you over and over again.
You've got a new soundboard. I've got a brand new gaming PC that got delivered yesterday.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm pressing it again.
Nice.
I'm very happy. Very happy. I put together a £1,300 rig.
Fucking hell.
A
There's a lot.
£1,300 wig. What?
Rig.
Oh, rig. Sorry, I was about to say that is an expensive wig.
Are you okay with that, Lewis? Is that fine?
No, it's not fine.
He's
It's not
still
fine at all.
confused.
No, it's good. So
Okay.
I can show layer 2. People won't see a layer 2 until I remove layer 1. But I can see layer 2.
Exactly it.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Should we go straight to countdown? You reckon?
No.
Oh. All right then.
I've got 9 letters.
Actually, what are the stories today? I haven't even looked yet. I'm sorry, I've been busy, so I'm just like.
So
in the last
I'm
second.
not letting you ignore my fucking quality countdown joke.
I'm going fucking
dickheads.
live.
Oh, sorry.
Give me your.
Sorry, what was the joke?
You said go straight to countdown. I said I've got 9 letters.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh.
Fucking
That's
eat
actually
me,
fucking shit.
your dad.
Right. Do not move layers.
No. In the Israeli story, have you mentioned like the shared intelligence thing? By the way,
No. Bring up in
some-
the comments. Anything
You-
I've missed, just bring it up at the end.
or one of you can just bring this up, but literally it's one line. Basically, like the shared intelligence across Europe, like they specifically got intelligence from the Amsterdam police to make the decision to ban them because of like the intelligence that they got about how bad some of these fans can be, and that's why they deemed it high risk. So that's why that's like the cornerstone of their decision, like shared European intelligence.
Oh, interesting.
You suggesting
Yeah.
Europe has any intelligence?
What a fucking boomer joke that was.
Well, I've got to get it out of my system before I become Newsy McNewsboy.
Have you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I have.
Also, I got from the co-op Palestine beer.
Oh, Hamas beer. Okay.
Hamas beer. When you drink it, you immediately like turn into Hamas. So like, Hamas.
Is it best before October 7th?
Oh.
No comment. Got a fucking reputation to fucking knock.
That's a quality joke.
That is a good. That come on, I'm very proud of that.
It's right. It's Brewgooder in partnership with Tay
Terrorists.
Terrorist Bay Brewing Co. And the profits go to Palestine and the Middle East. So with every sip, you can hate Israel with it.
Yeah, brewed in tunnels.
Oh, Kev, you're naughty.
I am naughty, but we're off air, so it's allowed.
Well,
I was
we're
gonna
actually
say
on air
I was gonna
from
say a
your
very
end.
cancelable joke.
No,
I
don't,
almost-
because you're still live.
I'll wait till the show finishes.
Yeah, you've got to bear in mind, like, you want to interview like proper politicians and stuff. I couldn't
Yeah,
give a
no.
fuck, so I'll do the joke.
That's the thing. So it's like there's so many things I can say, and I'm like, oh, no comment, because I've got to be. I have a bit of like prim and properness about me, because
Exactly. You get like
sensitive.
your organisation interviewed fucking Zach Polanski. Fucking Cog interviewed Zach Polanski. How dope.
Someone went on the clip from Bold Politics, like, I recognise his voice. Cog, that is.
Well, clearly from Let Them Eat Cake, the very briefly run podcast we did together.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of that. Not
Your dad.
cool. Let me check. Do you know how to say that? Cool. Oh, I need to hit record my OBS. I've got the clap. Actually, someone's going to clip that. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, I've got a soundboard now, motherfucker. You better be careful.
Isn't there a soundboard? I said something and you want to put it
Yes,
on
it's what was it? What have you got against putting meat in your nan?
there? Do you have that sound still?
Somewhere, yes. I haven't put it on my board yet, but if someone wants to send me the MP3/WAV file for it.
WAV. Doing WAV nice and high quality.
Well, those are the two that it accepts. It says it accepts loads of other file formats, but I can't get any of them to fucking work.
Does it accept P files?
Jesus Christ. No, it's not. No, it's not Israel. Oh!
Hey. Who's Hank Packer? Is he from Simpsons?
No, that's the alter ego of Hassan Piker. He does this bit where
Hank
he pretends to be like an American hog kind of character.
Oh, very funny from Hassan Piker.
Yeah. Because I think, wasn't it Alex Jones that called him Hank Pecker or some shit?
Oh,
like
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he didn't know his name, and then
He didn't know his name, so he was like, I'm gonna call him Hank Pecker.
Yeah.
Very good. All right then.
I need to get a haircut, man.
Oh, I had a shave today for you. On my face, before we get any ideas.
Well, I don't care about what's on your face. The only thing I want on your face is me, lad.
My eyes are up here.
Yeah, I ain't looking in your eyes.
All right then, it's gonna be a fucking good show.
Let's go.
Sunday, Friday, and then afterwards we get a beer or two, or Palestine beer. Free Palestine.
Oh, there's got to be a joke in there about IPA, like PA. There's got to be something. In there.
IPA, yeah. I haven't got time to make a joke now. Right.
Have a good show.
Welcome to Normal Island Live. I'm Curtis Daly, and I'm joined by Kevin Logan. And I tell you what, I'm so excited. Oh, he's not here. Probably because we need to do this. This is so fucking professional. There we go. I'm joined by Kevin Logan, and I tell you what, it's a Friday. We don't usually have you on a Friday. I'm so excited. It feels like my birthday.
Well, we're going to party like it's your birthday. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I mean, I'm still kind of, I'm past that now,
No,
we don't party anymore, do we?
Yeah, well, no, we're both old. That is true.
Oh, but anyway, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's glorious to be
I
here.
don't know why we're on the comments section now. What's going on here? Sorry. This is a really good show, isn't it, so far? Anyway, let's forget the tech issues. Coming up on tonight's show, the Green Party are ahead in a recent poll. Ash Sarkar gives a masterclass on Question Time, as she always does, of course, the nation's favourite communist. Reform top poll in Kefili, and Israeli football fans banned from upcoming Villa game. Now, you can help us grow by visiting turnleftmedia.co.uk/support to help fund our work, or by becoming a YouTube member. But on to our first story. A new poll from Find Out Now has the Green Party ahead of Labour. Reform is far ahead with 32%, but here you can see both Labour and the Green Party on 15%. But when you break down the numbers, the Greens are slightly ahead. James Meadway tweeted, Greens are actually ahead of Labour for the first time. Detailed results have the Greens on 15.31% and Labour on 15.23%. Okay, it's a statistical tie, but technically, right, they do have, they are polling above Labour, but whether you consider the Greens ahead or tied with Labour, the story here is that Labour are continuing to lose support, whilst Zach Polansky's Greens are going from strength to strength. Helena, aka No Justice MTG, broke down the numbers by age. Greens are leading in aggregate amongst the entire under 40 votes. And obviously you can see the Greens winning over 30% of 18 to 29s and 23% of those aged between 30 and 39. Now, Reform is slightly higher with 28% in that age group, but the Greens are the clear winner when it comes to the young.
Epic done.
Now, with that Find Out Now poll, I know it does inflate Reform's vote. I'm not sure if they do the same for the Greens. Kevin, for a long time, the role of the Green Party was to win, I don't know, maybe between 20 and 50 seats and to potentially push Labour and the Overton window to the left. But is it now possible that they could replace Labour before the next election.
It's not impossible, certainly, but I think we need to take this polling with a little pinch of salt. It is impressive what's happened with the Green Party. The membership more than doubling since Zach Polansky became leader is a massive, massive deal. The fact that if you combine the Green Party membership in Scotland with that of England and Wales, as they would with the National Conservative Party, then they're actually ahead of the Conservative Party in terms of overall membership, and are about to pass them just in England and Wales alone very soon to become the third largest party. And given that the Labour Party lie constantly about how many members they have, we don't even know how close they might be to catching them at some point in the not too distant future. The consistent rise in polling for the Green Party has also been very impressive, and I think Zach Polansky and his team, and indeed the kind of broader leadership of that party, have a lot of should deserve a lot of kudos for that. I think some of the messaging that's been put out there, the party political broadcast was fantastic that they did, and also a video they did yesterday where he reads through a Benjamin Zephaniah quote, a Benjamin Zephaniah poem, I should say, whilst going around and actually talking to the people of Handsworth in Birmingham, not just going there and calling it a slum and being racist about it like some other national politicians have done in the not too distant future, distant past, I should say. Yes. But again, it has to be tempered with a certain note of caution. Find Out Now are a very, very pro reform polling organisation. They are consistently outliers when it comes to overestimating the number of seats predicted to be won by the Reform Party, and so that does skew the numbers slightly. I would take generally the poll of polls, that is the aggregate of the overall polling data from all of the various companies, which has the Labour still comfortably ahead of the Green Party, but in some cases it's close enough to the margin of error where I think you genuinely have to think of them as both a national party and a legitimate threat to the Labour Party, because of course what must be borne in mind during all of this is that the crazy notion, according to the people of Westminster, the one opinion that you're allowed to have, the crazy notion that everyone else understands, that if you offer progressive voters progressive policies, they're likely to A, vote for you, and B, join your party and want to see you elected, rather than the Labour Party's policy of trying to chase right-wing votes that they will never get, whilst eviscerating and incinerating the votes of the people that they've relied upon for generations to have any electability whatsoever. And so I don't necessarily think they will replace them. I don't necessarily think that they will get more seats than the Labour Party, although it depends quite how bad things get with Keir Starmer, of which more later. But as it currently stands, I would suggest that positioning themselves for the following general election to take over as the legitimate, number one progressive political party, certainly in Parliament and on the national stage, would be a more accurate and realistic possibility. But there's no doubt that if it continues in the trajectory it's going, with the Green Party going just soaring in popularity. We started this week with them just having passed 100,000 on Sunday, and we're now close to 120,000 by the end of this week. If that carries on, I mean, what point do they become the second largest political party in the country by membership? They are a legitimate force, and the Labour Party are a dying force, and at some point those will intersect and overpass one another, and we will see, I think, the Green Party become what the Labour Party was 100 years ago, an insurgent leftist force taking on a corrupt oligarchical elite.
Yeah, I agree with you about the polls. I think Find Out Now probably overestimates the Greens in order to underestimate Labour, because it inflates Reform, right? And if you're going to inflate Reform, you're going to need to see a lot of smaller parties take up Labour's vote.
Yeah.
But what I think here, though, is, yes, I don't think on aggregate the Greens are on 15%. But this poll does show a huge spike in support. In terms of membership numbers, I mean, what are we talking, 200,000 maybe in 6 months? I mean...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they'll have overtaken the Conservatives by the end of this month. And I think they'll probably do so by the end of this week, by the looks of things. By the day to day, they're getting thousands of new members per day. Which, again, you've got to bear in mind how seismic that is. You went from just over 50,000 at the time of Zach Polansky becoming leader to more than double that now in 2 months. That's crazy. That's crazy. The same amount of growth it took 40 years to get for the Green Party, they've gotten in 2 months. That's absolutely epoch changing potentially. politically seismic stuff. They have a legitimate chance to become the number one force. And we're already seeing, and this he should take this as, I think, a mark of the success of his strategy in terms of communications. We are seeing the increased heat being turned up on him when it comes to smears against him, in the way that you are not seeing with Jeremy Corbyn, your party is fizzling out pretty badly, it has to be said. Which is a shame. I don't take any joy in that. It's a shame to see what's happening there. But there is a reason that the right wing are doing think pieces about how terrible Zach Polanski is and why they are not doing so for Jeremy Corbyn. It's because you get most flack when you're near the target, and he is very, very near the target.
I mean, Zach Polanski said, "We're not here to be disappointed by Labour. We're here to replace them." And yes, you're of course right. I don't see them replacing Labour at this general election, of course not. But that's the building blocks. But maybe afterwards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, maybe a real shock could be something like potentially over 100 seats for the Green Party in. I mean, what is it going to be? 2023, 2024? Sorry, no, 34 actually. Wow.
Well, depending on if there's early elections and stuff.
If there's early elections, of course, yeah.
Assuming it goes to a 5-year parliament, that's the year it would be, yeah. Absolutely, that's definitely possible. The thing you have to bear in mind is, in terms of getting the vote out and having an efficient use of that vote, is that you need on-the-ground party organising in the various localities, right? So you need, in each seat that you're targeting, you need to have a functioning political party, a branch or constituency party system, which the Labour Party have had well established for 100 years, the Conservatives have had well established for a long time. And I think one of the things that will hold back both the Green Party and the Reform Party in the upcoming elections is that they don't have that well-established, well-rooted local party system in order to actually get the vote out. Because it's easy saying that the National Party has this huge swing on things, which is definitely true. If a leadership is good, it can win people elections around the country. And if your leadership is bad, it can lose seats around the country, as we've seen from the fact that Keir Starmer is not going to Caerphilly because he will hurt the Labour Party's electoral chances. The same happened with Rishi Sunak, of course, during the last general election, where candidates were literally saying, don't send him here, he will lose me votes, right? But what you need is locals on the ground who, A, know the particular areas to target and the particular types of issues that really matter to those local people. You need that well established in your community all the time, because politics doesn't just happen at election time. Politics happens 24/7, 365. People talking in their communities, having good examples of local politicians, both elected and non-elected, doing things in their local communities is how you gain support and gain a local base of support, which is why incumbency is so difficult to overcome, because people have a well-established idea of who their MP is or who their councillor is, and if they like them, they'll vote for them again and again and again, right? And that's what you need, well established in those communities, which the Green Party and Reform don't yet have, but probably will have if they work hard enough in the following election to this one.
Okay, let's leave that there and move on to our second story. Remember, we've got 4 stories tonight, a packed out show. The nation's favourite communist, Novara Media's Ash Sarkar, appeared on BBC Question Time last night, and as expected, she served.
Everything is too expensive and nothing works. And taxation is a part of that, but I'm going to come to that in a second. The first thing I actually want to talk about is where we're paying too much money. So £200 billion of our money has been paid out to shareholders for privatised utilities like rail and mail and energy and buses and stuff of that nature. That's money that could have gone into reducing customers' bills or investing in infrastructure. It hasn't. It's gone out in the form of shareholder profit. Or if you look at social care, which is really the monster under the bed whenever you look at any local authority's budget, the role of private equity is disgusting. So nearly a quarter of foster placements and children's residential homes are run by companies backed by private equity, and they're looking for profit margins of about 20% or more. So it's hugely expensive for local authorities, and that money isn't going into workers' wages, it's going into private equity. So the first thing we need to do is admit that privatisation has been a failed experiment, it has cost this country dearly, and it is an experiment that needs to end. The second thing that I want to talk about is where actually the tax burden needs to shift. So, Gordon, you were the one who raised the question first, right? Can I ask you a personal question? Are you a billionaire?
No.
Then you're probably paying enough tax. So, there are 50 families in the UK who have more wealth than 50% of this country combined. And half of billionaire wealth comes from inheritance, it comes from hoarding property, and it comes from finance. So we're not talking about businesses that employ people, we're not talking about socially productive uses of capital, we're talking about hoarding.
I mean, Ash has a real gift of communication, right? She's got the entire room listening intently. One of a kind. I mean, often question time is such a... it sounds like everyone's just pissed up in a pub trying to shout over each other, but she keeps people quiet. And I love the bit where she asked the audience member whether they're a billionaire, right? This is a great tactic of communication, bringing in people, right? Making it personal and making your point, rather than, look, the left usually being quite technocratic, reading off information, speaking past people, and then expecting those to suddenly get it. Ash shows you need to engage people. And I also think it's a very clear shift when it comes to talking about taxes, right? Wealth taxes have sort of been, thrusted into the debate from the left. Beforehand, a lot of prominent leftists would talk about income tax, corporation tax, tax avoidance and evasion. I'm thinking of even Jeremy Corbyn when he was Labour leader in 2017. The manifesto was about, increasing the top rate of taxes, restoring corporation tax to what it was before, tax evasion and avoidance, right? But really only since Gary Stevenson, taxes and assets have come to the forefront. Listening to people like Ash saying, you can't take your assets with you. You can't put housing and land in your pocket and fly away. That's something that, we, Justice, Kevin has been saying for the last couple of years. And I'm not saying, we're to be credited for it, by the way. I'm not saying that Ash Sarkar and other people are saying it because we have. What I'm saying is the move to talk about immovable assets is far more convincing than income tax. Now, Ash also spoke about the dangers of AI.
Social media has been allowed to prey on young people. And I'm not just talking about things like abusive content. I'm just talking about the all-out assault on people's attention span, their sense of self, the fact that you're constantly on Instagram or TikTok hating yourself because you're looking at these altered images of people and increasingly AI images of people. That's happened because, politicians weren't able to take the real threat of this stuff all that seriously. And one thing I'll leave you with is this, which is if you read interviews with tech CEOs from the States, they don't let their children have smartphones.
I do always find it interesting.
Why? Because they know that they're designed to be addictive and to dull the senses and to make us more inhibited human beings. And that's my fear with AI. Not that it can't be put to socially useful things. Of course it can be. But the direction of travel is going to follow the same thing as social media, which is that's going to prey on young people. And I don't think primary school teachers can cope with that.
I agree.
I have to say, I hate AI. I've always seen it as the devil's tech. But Ash makes a great point about billionaires now being open about their intentions. It's not about solving issues. It's about finding new ways to get humans addicted to their crap, namely AI porn. There's a website called friend.com, which literally outsources human connection. It's like, hey, sign up to this website and you can have a friend. It's so dystopian. And by the way, they're not doing it because they care about loneliness. They're doing it because they want to take your data and make a profit off of it. They're monetizing loneliness. And this is what AI has come to. A lot of people are like, tech is going to save the world. The problem with changing technology, improving technology, is it's never going to save the world because the politics behind it hasn't changed. Over the last 50, 60, 70 years, the rise of robots, automation, has people's lives, become easier? People worked less? No, it hasn't, in fact, because the politics that underpins it all of capitalism hasn't changed. We should be working less. We should have more leisure time with the rise of technology, but it's not happening. And you can see why, under capitalism and under this sort of oligarchical system, the rise of AI hasn't served humanity. You're literally watching, people, AI fake actors, which are women, by the way, which is, I think, very creepy. And, Sam Altman talking about AI porn. It's ludicrous stuff. Kevin, I want to get your reaction to Ash's effective communication, and then I want you to sort of talk about what she said about AI.
Yeah, I mean, she's a superb communicator. As you pointed out, she's fantastic rhetorically. You know, that question about are you a billionaire? Personalise the story. Use the emotions of of the individual, because no one, virtually speaking, is a billionaire, and so then they're going to react to that. If we're already paying tax, you mean you're not going to raise taxes on me? You're going to raise taxes on, you know, a billionaire or a millionaire or whatever. That makes a lot of sense to people, and I think people are generally much more on board with that. And it cuts through against the kind of right-wing talking points, you know, the right-wing framing of these kind of discussions. I also think she made some really good points about privatisation, because again, that's another thing I think the left need to bang on about a lot more, because everyone knows that everything doesn't work, but you don't necessarily understand that there is an alternative to that. And that's exactly the reason why I think the abolish landlords thing from the Green Party is good, because everyone hates landlords, but you don't necessarily know that there's an alternative. People don't necessarily, it's just sort of seen almost as a force of nature. Landlords are just there, they're going to always be there. No, they're not. We can do things about that, you know. I also think she made a very good, kind of underrated little interjection on Matthew Said, where she mentioned he was glazing the 18th century for some reason in Britain, and how we used to build things and stuff. And she said, you know, because of the British Empire, you know, we were stealing stuff from people, and essentially forced him to have to admit that that's precisely what it was. So I think she's a very effective communicator with good politics, and is good rhetorically. It was a little bit underwhelming in one respect, because she didn't talk that much, right? Now, the things she did say were very good, but the overall screen time, I don't know if anyone's got a breakdown of that, but I would imagine she spoke probably the fewest of all of the five main guests, which is not that surprising, because Fiona Bruce is obviously a very partisan right-wing host of that show, and so as a leftist going onto that show, you need to do, I think, a little bit more of what Zach Polanski did the week before, which is to force yourself into the conversation, because she's not going to invite you in, because she doesn't want you there in the first place. She doesn't want you to talk. She will try and interrupt you at every opportunity and shut you down as quickly as possible to move on to another right-wing talking point, you know? And so you have to force yourself into the conversation, which, you know, is not necessarily her style, I suppose, but it's something that, you know, would have been, I think, probably a bit more efficacious or whatever. But that's a minor nitpick, really. I think her performance was actually very good, and she's a gift to the left, frankly. I'm glad she's on our side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Fiona Bruce is biased against the left. I mean, I have to say, comparing her to David Dimbleby, I miss David Dimbleby, and I'm not saying he's not particularly biased, but he's far superior than Fiona Bruce. I mean, I found it very interesting in the last question time when Zach Polanski was talking about the Russian connections with reform. Which is, I don't know if anyone wants to really hear about that. We need to wrap up. Quite insane to me, if you ask.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what is it? What do you make about sort of AI? Billionaires are no longer sort of hiding their mission. You know, before they say it's about improving the world, and now we've got Sam Altman basically saying you can wank off to AI.
It's the biggest scam, I think, that's ever been invented. I genuinely, I was on the fence about AI when it sort of first became a significant thing, because you've got to give it time to see how it develops. You can't just, I mean, the vibes on it were always bad, because if you look at the people trying to sell you this idea, it's Sam Altman, it's Palantir, it's Elon Musk, it's Tony Blair, the worst people on earth are trying to sell you this idea. But you can't just take it as that, you know, you can't just say, oh, the messenger is bad. What is the actual possibility for this? And there was some touted things about how it could help with healthcare and this, that, and the other. And what we've seen is it just produces slop video on the internet. Like, it's not going to cure cancer, but what it does allow is idiots to make stupid AI videos of Charlie Kirk running into Jesus' arms in heaven, right? That's all it's good for. We are destroying the planet with these huge banks of computers to allow AI technology to even exist, using huge amounts of energy and destroying the very, very finite resources we have on this planet to allow idiots to make crap videos. That's it. Matthew Said's nonsense about how this was going to revolutionise and change the earth, just like Einstein did or whatever, is just palpably not true. It's nonsense. It's a massive scam. It's an obvious bubble. It's being perpetrated by the likes of Elon Musk by artificially inflating the expense of, or the value, I should say, of the stock in all of these companies, and that's why they're looking to government contracts, big juicy government contracts, which are guaranteed in order to have any kind of profitability going forward. Because there's no real practical application for it, I don't think. I live to be proven wrong. If I am wrong, I will happily admit so. But it just seems like a massive scam. It's basically the non-fungible token part 2.
Yeah, I failed to see the social utility of it, and I think this really feels like we're in a plot of a film where these billionaire losers, right, couldn't find a partner when they were at university or whatever, and they've sort of made it their life mission to build technology where they can just build their own girlfriends and boyfriends. And it's like, it's not about improving the world. It's like, I'm going to have a fake companion because I was so ignored at school because I was such an asshole, because I wasn't there to be friendly to people. I was so focused on what I was doing. And actually, this is like the end game of these billionaires. They just want to build robots so they can have some company. By the way, doing it by destroying the planet, because obviously these massive data centers are using so much energy and resources. I mean, I was looking at Ireland. They've had a massive increase in energy consumption. I believe either Netherlands, maybe Netherlands, somewhere in Northern Europe. Huge consumption of energy from these data centers, just so we can see videos of Stephen Hawking on the fucking train track. It's nonsense. Crazy.
No one needs a 20th iteration of Will Smith eating pasta. It's just not. It's not necessary. And of course, you mentioned the economics behind it, which is always sort of the interesting or worthwhile point looking at, because that's what will dictate the direction of travel. The economics are absolutely ghastly. The incentives are the absolute sort of peak of late-stage capitalism, it seems to me. Like you say, they're trying to financialize loneliness. They're trying to create fake alternatives to genuine human interaction, which is like a problem that's been caused by capitalism and the detachment from reality and the atomization, which they have foisted upon the world. They are now trying to financially profit from. It's ghastly fucking evil.
I mean, I wish we could end it.
Yes,
I'm not
agree.
a big. I mean,
Yeah.
AI. If you want to, I say this all the time, but I'm like, AI. If you want to help write something or check grammar, I've never been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I'm dyslexic, right? And I use it sometimes to say, oh, is that grammatically correct, right? I think that's fine, because the point of technology is a tool to enhance stuff for you, right? Like Photoshop. You can use AI in very small instances to improve things or help you, right? But it shouldn't replace something. It shouldn't replace human creativity, right? So I've got no issue if you want to use AI in a very small scale, but if you're literally creating real-world scenarios. I saw a video floating on Twitter, and it was obviously fake footage, but it was CCTV footage of someone stealing something from a shop. Looks incredibly real. I mean, that's so dangerous. The criminal justice system is completely fucked from that. We ain't going to know whether something's real or fake now when it comes to evidence. This is so disruptive. And what's the social utility off the back of that? There's no pros and cons to this. All I can see is cons.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
I can see is cons.
I genuinely don't see the advantages of it, but like it's. And another aspect of it is, of course, genuinely, actually creative people are having their content stolen in order to train these stupid AI algorithm things. Like, it's just, everything about this just screams awful scam, and it needs to be stopped. But we wait and see, I suppose.
I agree. Before we continue, I just want to remind our viewers that we are 5 volunteers keeping this ship going. We do this around our paid jobs, and our goal is to become full-time, meaning we can increase our content, be far more ambitious, and build a sustainable left-wing alternative. Your help has made so much of a difference already, from equipment to covering rallies and interviews, and your support means everything. We rely on small donations, so if you want to be part of a media organisation that seeks to destroy the oligarchs, then please head over to turnleftmedia.co.uk/supports. There you can support us monthly on Patreon, or there is another link for a one-time contribution. And you can come on YouTube for just 99p. Not bad. Okay, let's move on to our next story. A recent poll in the by-election in Carefully shows Reform out on top. 42% for Reform, but close behind is Plaid Cymru on 38%, a two-horse race as no other party can compete. Now, this follows the general trend of polling in Wales as Labour support has completely collapsed and Plaid taking over. Plaid and Reform are neck and neck in voting intentions for the whole of Wales. Now, this latest poll from YouGov has Plaid on 30% and Reform just behind on 29%. Now, since the Welsh Assembly was introduced in 1999, Labour have always won. They're now a distant third on 14%. Ouch. Now, despite Reform enjoying a boost in support, not everyone in Caerphilly is happy about their presence. Reform candidate Claire Powell faced a grilling at a BBC debate.
I'm born and bred in Caerphilly. I've lived here all my life. And I have their father, my other son, is part of the 2.9% that you say are overtaking Caerphilly.
I have news on
Right. Well, you're using that immigration is overtaking the country. We've lived here. We've lived here all our lives, and I have never felt so unwelcome in my own hometown as I do since your party came into Caerphilly with all the rhetoric that you bring in. I have to say to my sons, please don't go there, please don't do this. And quite frankly, Mr. Powell, I blame you for that.
Okay.
Did you catch his eye roll at the end, by the way? Crazy. I mean, Powell claims that he didn't say immigration was taken over. But do you know what? He doesn't have to, because 99% of Reform campaigning has been about attacking immigration. And this has undoubtedly created a far more hostile environment. Now, earlier today, I caught up with Aaron, aka Specs Bean Farmer, to discuss the situation in Wales. Can you tell me about the collapse in support for Labour over the years in Wales and places like Caerphilly?
Yeah, so, I mean, it really started during the pandemic, I would say. They sort of started losing ground then.
Hello.
Mostly because of the growth of the independence movement, but also, I think, just because of the abject failures, really. I mean,
have you got the audio?
The area I live in, Caerphilly Council, and like
I think
near
Kevin's
me, we've got Blackwood Miners Institute.
By the way, in the
we've
last
got
hour,
Kent
and
Forest,
Prince Andrews have pretty much every single title
set
stripped.
to close. We've got 5 or 6 libraries set to close. There could be more. There's a local museum that's also run by the council that's about to close. So it's just the collapse in services really that's driving it. More than anything, and I think that's also pushing people towards.
I've got an AI story that I'm going to
It's interesting that you said about the pandemic because there's a lot of people. I think during COVID, a lot of people got radicalised, and a lot to weren't happy with the Labour Party
idea, but
under Mark Drakeford.
I'll see your live
even though I found
when,
he was a bit more on the left, but I think when it came to the lockdowns,
I personally like Drakeford, and I think he did well.
Kevin looked really engaged,
but there was a lot of backlash. There has also been a lot of backlash to the 20 mile an hour. Thing that's passed recently, where a lot of roads have gone from 30 to 20, a bit like how London's set up, and some other places around the country as well. But we've done it sort of nationwide. I don't think it's that much of an issue personally. In fact, it's made my commute a little bit quicker. Because,
by the
you
way,
don't
some
have
cheeky
that
fucker
full of traffic all the time
in the comments who was obviously watching Kevin's live before.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that
we went live.
A lot
left
of
a comment saying, "Nice layering, Lewis."
But at the end of the day, the buck does stop with Welsh Labour because they're in power, or in office, I should say, in the Senate. So,
what's it been like on the ground? I mean, polls show obviously the big split between Reform and Plaid, but how does it feel speaking to people?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There are a lot of Reform supporters about. So, but I mean, it is going to be close. It's a coin toss at the moment. Really, really is a coin toss. I'm hoping that I'm not sure if you're aware of the debate that happened on the BBC on Wednesday. But Leah's performance there was terrible. I think, and that focus on migration has really caused some division, especially in Caerphilly.
It's kind of odd though, isn't it? Because the Senedd doesn't have control over migration, yet that seems to be a big talking point when it comes to Welsh politics.
It does, and I think that's because of the Nation of Sanctuary. So there's a policy that was passed by, it was it was unanimously voted on. Everybody supported it at the time during the kickoff of the Ukraine war, and it also encompassed the Hong Kongers and all that, those sorts of folks. But basically, it was extra funding provided by the Welsh government. I think it's about 10 million. It's not an awful lot of money. But it supplies job training, English language, Welsh language, that sort of stuff, just for people that have moved here. So, yeah. But Reform are playing that up.
I want to ask you about Plaid Cymru. I mean, they've had a real big boost. Why do you think they've had a huge boost in their support? Is it mostly down to the collapse of Labour?
Yeah, well, there's that. They've also actually got quite a progressive message as well. And, I mean, Wales is quite a progressive country. So, yeah, that, and again, the independence question is that's gone up to 35% recently. So that's been quite popular. Yeah, I think Plaid are saying the right things. Plaid Cymru are saying the right things, but yeah, but we'll see how they do. The major issue, though, is they have propped up Labour governments in the past, and Reform are using that.
So do you think, then, the main issues for people in Wales, part of it is obviously immigration, and that gives them the thrust for reform, but do you think the other side, shall we say, is independence, and that's where the main support is coming from Plaid?
Well, I don't think it's totally that, but I think that is a component. That being said, I mean, Plaid have outright said they're not going to try for an independence referendum this term, so that's off the table. But I do think it's more their progressive economic stance. You've got to remember Wales is quite rural as well, and their farming policy is pretty good. And yeah, I mean, it's a very similar situation to the SNP in Scotland in the 2010s, I guess.
Zach Plansky has reaffirmed the Green Party's policy, which is to, well, I mean, he said, I support independence for both Scotland and Wales. So have you heard on the ground, maybe the message hasn't travelled that far, but have you heard from people in Wales in response to what Zach has been saying on independence?
Everyone's a little bit disappointed with the Green Party in Caerphilly at the moment because they haven't dropped out. Now, Zach has talked a big game about being, there being red lines in his politics, and one of those is getting Reform elected. He's kind of not living up to that at the moment, sadly. And I say that as a Green Party member. So I'm a little bit disappointed there on that front. Now, they're only polling at about 2%. So, but it's still so close that 2% could make all the difference. Now, I'm happy that the Greens have come out and supported independence. That has been their policy since, well, at least the pandemic. So, yeah. I mean, the problem the Greens have is, A, their candidate in Caerphilly didn't do fantastically in the debate, and B, they're not really a force in Wales at the moment. They may do better in Cardiff and Newport, but up in the valleys, they're non-existent. During the last general election, I couldn't even get hold of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're polling quite badly considering they're doing quite well nationally, 2%. Why is it, do you think, that the Greens aren't particularly doing that well? Is it mostly because people think the progressive option is Plaid, or is there more to it?
Well, I think it's that, and it's the Green Party's funding. They don't have the funding to run the race everywhere. So, and especially for the Senedd election, I think they want to focus their attention on Cardiff. I think it's Cardiff West or Cardiff South. I can't remember the constituency exactly. But yeah, so I think they want to just focus their efforts there.
That was Aaron giving me their views on the ground. Kevin, what do you make of Reform being the favourite in Caerphilly, and both theirs and Plaid's increased support in Wales?
Again, as with the previous poll, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt because they're not an exact science necessarily. It's going to be very tight one way or the other. And as he pointed out there, Aaron, and I thought he summed it up very well, actually. It would be good, I think, if the Green Party did drop out. And more importantly, I think, because of the percentages involved, the Labour Party. If we are to believe Keir Starmer that he's going to lead the progressive charge against reform and to try and stop reform, he could withdraw his candidate and tell Labour voters to vote for Plaid Cymru. Not on the understanding that he supports independence, because of course that's not the Labour Party's position and presumably never will be, but on the understanding that on this one particular occasion it's to stop reform. And I think that's something that needs to be put forward, okay? Because the Labour Party cannot win here. They used to be able to win here in a landslide because the Labour Party have been running Wales, for the most part, for the vast majority of Wales' electoral history in recent decades. But there's a reason that Keir Starmer won't do that. It's because he'd rather the left just lose. He doesn't care whether Reform are elected or not, frankly. He'd rather Plaid Cymru lose than to allow Reform to just stroll in there, basically. Even though the majority of people clearly will vote for either the Green Party or Plaid Cymru or the Labour Party because of the traditional leftist views of Labour Party in places like Wales. And so you will end up with 50+% of the population voting for some kind of left or left of centre politics and the Reform Party winning, potentially. Again, it's going to be very tight one way or the other. It's a very small place, you've got to bear in mind. I think a population of just over 40,000. And so you're going to end up with, a few hundred votes one way or the other deciding who wins here. And the progressive forces could join some semblance of force and say the Plaid Cymru need to win this. We need to stop reform from momentum, especially in places like Wales. But they won't do that. Of course, they won't do that. But it's genuinely worrying and sad to see. Because look, as Aaron said, it's a progressive place, Wales. Its politics are to the left of Westminster, and yet it might end up electing a weird little fascist thumb man to Parliament, which would be a deep shame.
People do need to know in Wales, though, that when it comes to immigration, the Senedd doesn't have control over that. So if you're voting on immigration, it literally is a waste of vote. Vote on your public services, vote on other things.
Well, the same is true in councils. Like for some reason, like when they got into power in Warwick, they thought they were going to be able to just stop immigrants coming in. You don't understand what a council is.
There's a little border around the council.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like Warwickshire has a wall around it. What are you talking about? That's not the job of a council. It's not the job of the Senedd. It's not the job of a single MP. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Don't give them ideas.
It's almost like these British patriots don't fundamentally understand much about Britain. Yeah.
Very true. I mean, I think it was very interesting seeing the debate with Claire Powell. I mean, that O roll at the end was wild to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think he understands that basically Reform voters don't care. Reform voters don't want that young mixed race child to feel comfortable in that place. They just don't. They're racist people. I'm sorry, they just are. And I'm not going to do this pretend thing of saying like, well, not all of them are racist, so we don't need to. No, I'm sorry. If you're voting in a council election about migration, you're a racist. Simple.
What you were saying earlier, I completely agree with. Actually, I tweeted it earlier, which was that Labour care more about Plaid losing than Reform winning.
Oh, absolutely.
They would rather see Reform win than Plaid win. Absolutely. The Labour Party now is hardwired to say, okay, maybe these guys on the right are our enemies, sort of, but those on the left, they're our bigger enemies. So they definitely want to see that. But let's move on to our final story. Probably our biggest story, and quite insane, actually. Fans of Israeli football team Maccabi Tel Aviv have been banned from attending next month's Europa League game against Aston Villa in Birmingham over safety concerns. Safety Advisory Group told Aston Villa no travelling fans will be permitted at Villa Park for match with Maccabi Tel Aviv on November 6th. The Safety Advisory Group informed Aston Villa that no travelling supporters will be permitted at Villa Park after it was classified as a high-risk event. Now, this has sparked a whirlwind of political discourse and a media frenzy of false accusations of anti-Semitism.
After what happened in Manchester, that I put out a tweet, and it wasn't just a tragic day. It felt very much like an important moment, and one where, as you'll be aware, lots of Jewish people are asking whether or not there is a future for them in this country. That's a real conversation that takes place in private. Now, obviously, I'm here proudly Jewish, and I feel confident and I will remain hopeful about the future of this nation. But at the same time, when it seems as if the authorities who are there to protect you, that are there as part of community policing, are not able to, that does enduring violence to the sense of safety to our community that we experience every single day. And that's something which has to be very seriously considered by the police in the course of making this decision.
I mean, zero pushback there. I didn't expect, obviously, any pushback from Caroline Flint. And to be fair, if you were to go on TV and push back, you'd be labelled an anti-Semite. But I thought it was, bringing up disgusting Start that again. I thought it was disgusting when he brought up the anti-Semitic attack in Manchester. It was horrific, right? But I thought bringing that up was so egregious. Now, to the surprise of no one, Twitter has had an utter meltdown over this. Now, the Prime Minister tweeted this. "This is the wrong decision. We will not tolerate anti-Semitism on our streets. The role of the police is to ensure all football fans can enjoy the game without fear or violence or intimidation." Rupert Lowe also tweeted. He said, "We shouldn't be banning groups of football fans from Britain because Muslims might get offended." I found that one very ironic because I thought Lowe was a nationalist. So surely he would support protecting British Muslims against foreign hooligans. Of course, it's not nationalism, though, for him. It's ethno-nationalism. I think we really, really understand that. But there's more. David Collier, supposed journalist, but he exists purely to provide propaganda for Israel. He said, police in Birmingham could not guarantee that local Islamic thugs would not attack visiting Jewish football fans. So they banned the Jewish fans from going. This is unacceptable capitulation and cowardice. We should have escorted the Jewish fans with the army if need be. We're going to get into that, but I just think it's fucking wild. We live in a different universe to these people. Now, many have attacked Birmingham Independent MP Ayub Khan as he initially called for the ban. I welcome the news that Maccabi Tel Aviv fans will not be permitted to watch the match at Aston Villa. Well done to all those that signed our petition. And my God, it was met with fury. Ayub thinks that Jews should be banned from football matches. He is an unintegrated, racist anti-Semite. A Tory MP is saying this, by the way. He's unintegrated. This is an acid test for the government. After all they said these past weeks, are Jews safe and welcome in Britain? Ian Dale, he took to Twitter and he said, want to know what an anti-Semitic racist CUNT looks like? Below, right? I mean, I think it's really ironic that Ian Dale is calling someone else a CUNT. Projection. This next tweet. Ayub was born in Pakistan rather than block soccer fans from coming to the UK. How about the UK sends him back to Pakistan? That's straight up racist now. But this next one is so incredible from Michael Gove. Comedian Tez Ilyas says, isn't conflating Jews with Israel anti-Semitic? Michael Gove simply responds by saying, nope. So, look, it's literally anti-Semitic to conflate Jewish people with Israel. But Michael Gove is downplaying anti-Semitism when it suits him. And guess what? No one in the media or politician will call out his anti-Semitism. Now, look, those were just a couple of examples. There was a hell of a lot more, but when writing this script and show, it was giving me a fucking headache trying to go through his tweets because it was just sending me insane. But there's plenty more, as you can imagine. You can search up for yourself if you want to laugh. But the conflation of all Jewish people with Israel and now a football team is going to have its own chapter in history. So, why were the fans of Maccabi Tel Aviv banned? Is Aston Villa anti-Semitic? No, it's because those fans are violent hooligans. West Midlands Police said they partly based their decision about next month's match on what happened last year when violent clashes between pro-Palestinian demonstrators and Israeli fans erupted around the UEFA Europa League football match between Dutch club Ajax and Maccabi Tel Aviv. Maccabi fans were also filmed at the time tearing a Palestinian flag off a building in Amsterdam, setting another on fire and chanting anti-Arab slogans on their way to the stadium. Now, chanting anti-Arab slogans is putting it mildly. They were calling for the death of them. Sick fucking ghouls, if you ask me. Now, Sky News did a report on the violent acts of those fans, and the clip was subsequently deleted by Sky.
Violence in Amsterdam left at least 5 people injured and dozens have been arrested. But what happened? Supporters of Israeli football club Maccabi Tel Aviv arrived in Amsterdam ahead of their UEFA Europa League match against Amsterdam club Ajax. On Wednesday, social media videos verified by Sky News show Maccabi Tel Aviv fans tearing down Palestinian flags from outside of homes. Other social media videos appeared to show residents chasing Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. On Thursday, just before the game, crowds of Maccabi fans were filmed singing racist and anti-Arab songs. While a pro-Palestinian demonstration had been banned by the mayor over fears there would be clashes. Later that evening during the match, Israeli supporters appeared to disrupt the minute silence for Valencia flood victims with chants, whistles and fireworks. Maccabi fans were seen attacking locals as a police car can be seen driving by. People with Palestinian flags were seen marching on the streets. Maccabi supporters say they were beaten and attacked on the streets of the Dutch capital, with videos showing some of the violence.
Say free Palestine and we go. Good.
Sky News could not independently verify all of the footage shown. Police arrested 62 people. 5 were taken to hospital, but have since been discharged. Israeli far-right ultras are notorious for their racism and physical violence. Dutch, Israeli and British leaders denounced the attacks as anti-Semitic and even referred to it as a pogrom. But their statements failed to mention the assaults by the Israeli hooligans against Dutch citizens.
As I said, right, that video from Sky was deleted. Very lucky that someone downloaded it. And it's not the only thing that was deleted. There's so much security footage that was deleted too. So when someone says, oh, there weren't many arrests, it's because they couldn't carry on with the investigation into the hooligans from Tel Aviv in Amsterdam because the security footage was deleted. Wonder why. And by the way, because, look, we covered that segment on our show last time, right? Anyone calling that a pogrom is, 1, fucking sick, and 2, spits on the graves of those in World War II, Nazi Germany, who faced real pogroms. But a bunch of pissed up hooligans, I don't know if they're drunk, but a bunch of hooligans chanting death to Arabs, ripping down Palestinian flags. And yeah, someone's going to get mad and probably punch them back. Pogroms? Insane. Now look, there is precedent for this. Football fans have been banned many times when there's an issue of safety being a concern. So the Ministry of the Interior in Rome suspended the Schengen Agreement for 2 days to prevent Frankfurt hooligans from getting into the country, right? So Italy changed their border policy. They literally changed their border policy for football hooligans. But, you know, are they going to say it's anti-German? No. So what about England fans? So yeah, back in 2024 during the Euros, thousands of England fans were banned due to hooliganism. So what? You know, is this racist? Is this anti-English? You know, hooliganism, is fine when it's Israel. But when you apply the same treatment to one of their football teams, the anti-Semitism alarm bell sounds. Now, it turns out that Starmer and those whining on Twitter are out of step with the people. So this poll here, you can see that Britons support banning Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from attending next month's Aston Villa match. 42% supports and 28% oppose. You've got Keir Starmer, who's basically ultimate cop. He's like the boss level of cop, and he's going against the police when it comes to this, and he's still out of step with the public. But unlike this government and many cheerleaders in the media, it's because people aren't big fans of genocide. Kevin, this must be one of the stupidest weaponizations of anti-Semitism.
Yes, it really is. We live in bizarro land, frankly.
We live in normal island.
We live on normal island. There you go. See, he's got the sales pitch down. I love it. Anyway, yes, as a football fan and a Brummie, albeit very much not a fan of Aston Villa, this story has driven me absolutely insane because it's such nonsense from beginning to end. Every aspect of this. Any person who has come out opposing this ban either doesn't know anything about football or is weaponising this for false victimhood narrative, because this has got nothing to do with anti-Semitism. This is about Zionism, plain and simple. That's the framing we need to put on this, because that's the truth of the matter. As you pointed out, there is an ironclad consensus in Westminster that this is a terrible thing and this is awful and anti-Semitic, and it's basically like the Holocaust Mark II or some absurd utter shite. And it's in complete opposition to the British public. 42% of which oppose this nonsense. There are literally emergency meetings in Whitehall today by government ministers to try and see what they could do to overturn this decision. Interestingly, there were not emergency meetings today in Westminster to try and deal with the fact that numbers were published, that the number of homeless children in this country has reached an all-time high. It has increased by 8% in the first year of a Labour government, to the highest it has ever been. That did not draw a single emergency meeting, apparently, because that's not important. What's important is mollycoddling some of the worst fascists in the world. And they are, and we'll get to it in just a second. The hypocrisy is ludicrous. As you pointed out, Eintracht Frankfurt's fans were banned from attending the game in Napoli last year. You had the example of Ajax from Amsterdam, who were banned from travelling to the game against Marseille. There are various examples of this across Europe. Most tellingly, I think, Legia Warsaw fans were banned from entering the stadium that we're literally talking about right now. Legia Warsaw fans from one of the largest clubs in Poland, the capital of Poland, were banned from entering Villa Park last year. I did not hear a single one of these people talking about this being an anti-Pole pogrom. Not a single one of them had a single sentence to say, because, naturally, they said, well, Legia Warsaw fans have been violent, they shouldn't be given access to the stadium. Because that's the thing. When an English fan so much as sneezes in the wrong direction next to a police officer in Europe, these same people are out here screaming about how violence and racism and blah, 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 blah has no place in our game, decrying it for good boy points in the media. But when it's Maccabi Tel Aviv and the Israeli handlers of our democracy, have something to say about it, it becomes a very different thing. Because there's one rule for everybody else and one rule for Israel. Just to give you an example, you mentioned there, I think, some fine examples of the racism that's been engaged in by fans of Maccabi Tel Aviv. And content warning for what I'm about to read out, but this is word for word, verbatim, a thing that they sing about their local rivals, Hapoel Tel Aviv, which is a different club, a more leftist club, although leftist by Israeli standards, of course. Still Zionist, but leftist Zionist, if that even makes any sense. And they sing this song, which is colloquially known as the rape song. So, just be prepared for that. The exact words are, we will fuck you and drink your blood. In the city square, we will hang every communist who goes there. We will take your girls who like to party. When we rape them, we will sing, that day is death to Hapoel. That's a song they sing every game. There is video of this. This is not made up. This is a thing that they sing. And these are the people who our politicians are going unanimously to bat for. These are the people who are being defended. They want fetid garbage like that to enter our country. Not only should they not be allowed to enter the country, Maccabi Tel Aviv, the club, should not be allowed to enter the country. Israel should be banned by UEFA and FIFA from all competitions internationally, and all Israeli teams should be banned from continental competition as well, as was done with the Russian team after its nation's invasion of Ukraine. But again, it's one rule for everybody else, one rule for Israel. And this is the wider point that I think needs bearing in mind here. We need a root and branch clean out of our so-called democracy, because we don't have a democracy. We have an Israelocracy. The Zionist entity, the genocidal, murderous entity known as Israel, owns our political class. They're all in absolute lockstep about allowing violent, racist lunatics carte blanche. Because this isn't about the people of Birmingham attacking Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. It's about the opposite. Because everywhere they go, whether it's Amsterdam last year or a very notorious example where they attacked Arab or Arab-looking people in an away game where they went to Athens. They were playing Olympiakos, I believe, in Athens. Or Panathinaikos, one of the two teams. And they attacked people. They went essentially hunting for Arabs in Athens, physically assaulting them. When you turn up in people's cities, you rip down Palestine flags, you chant racist rubbish, you are violent towards the locals, they're going to react to that. These people, the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans, have a history of this. They are violent, racist lunatics, and they need to be stopped. This is clearly and obviously the correct and proper decision that's been made by West Midlands Police, an organisation I really have no time for whatsoever, West Midlands Police, but on this particular occasion you have to hand it to them, they've made the correct call. And the fact that a government that doesn't feel it necessary to intervene on operational matters when it suits them, are all of a sudden having emergency meetings in Whitehall to try and allow violent racist lunatics the run of the second largest city in the nation. When you're asked who you think the British government serve, it's not the ballooning number of homeless children in this country. It's Israel. And that needs to stop.
Yeah, no. I mean, we literally have a prime minister that stands with hooligans who are chanting rape songs. A prime minister, a media class, and politicians that stand with thugs singing about rape and celebrating it. Insane. And I find it very funny as well as the so-called nationalists are standing up for Israel hooligans over British people, specifically, of course, British Muslims. The right wing hate immigrants apart from Israeli immigrants. Yeah. Fucking insane stuff. Let's go to our comments. It's a really interesting show. I'm sure we've got some really interesting comments as well. Welcome on, Lewis Aaron.
Hello,
our producer today. Hello.
How's it going?
Oi oi.
Oi oi. I wanted to
revved
quickly
up, ready to go. I think.
No, I wanted to read out. I did a video about this earlier. I wanted to read out the lovely and sassy response from the UK Football Policing Unit because it was so good earlier. Because it gives way more context to exactly what's happened. But also, I love their kind of like. I think this is as sassy as you can get in like a formal setting if you're working for the police, right? So. They put out earlier, in the wake of the KC review following the serious disorder at Wembley in 2021, the UK FPU has suggested that if the government want a role in regulating football events, that could be termed events of national significance, then they need to bring forward legislation to formalise this to ensure accountability sits with them as decision makers and not us. The UK FPU supported the West Midlands Police in gaining access to the full details of the previous incidents in Amsterdam via the European Policing Network, so they had all the relevant information available to them Following this, the Home Office were briefed last week by the UK FPU about the potential issue and options that the Safety Advisory Group may take, including restrictions on visiting fans. I just think that is kind of a sassy response. It's basically saying, if you want a part of this, make some new fucking legislation. In the meantime, trying to reverse this decision is basically going to put the responsibility and blame on us. And also, if you flip it in the other way, if they didn't get involved in this and then it all kicks off, then they'd get blamed for it, right?
They're just doing
West
their
Midlands
job.
Police would get the UK FPU would get blamed. The West Midlands Police would get blamed if it all kicked off. Either way, you can't win. But I just kind of love that sassy response, and I thought it was really interesting that we have
but
this
to be fair, they may have informed the government last week that this was the case, but Keir Starmer was too busy being cocked by Trump in Cairo to bother. He doesn't read his shit. Jesus.
Do you know what's
He
funny,
didn't even get called Starmer. He got what was the Trump thing?
He
Where
said,
is the UK?
Where is the UK? And then they came, patted him on the head, and then turned his back on him. He had to slink back to his place.
He thought he was going to speak, wasn't he?
Honestly, we've got the biggest.
UK? Where's the UK? I'm here, Mr. Trump. Oh, well, let me get on my knees for you. No, not needed, not needed. Go back to your place.
Like it's
like they were in the room with us, Curtis. It was glorious.
I mean,
I see that RADA training has paid off. Love it.
But you know what? Though? It's usually politicians will look at like polling, for example, and think, where's the mood at for voters? We're going to try and sort of lean into that. Like when it comes to immigration, Labour can see reform gaining momentum, and they're like, oh, well, let's tack right on immigration because that's where people's at, right? Politicians do that all the time. The one thing they never do it though is on Israel, because they're not doing it to try and win votes from the people, because as you can see, poll after poll shows that people will side with Palestine over Israel. It's one of those rare things where a politician will happily outright reject popular opinion, because at the end of the day, Israel has a very strong lobby over here, and they're based like, you better fucking do what we want, you better follow the Washington foreign policy line.
Yeah.
And they won't deviate from that. Many other things, they'll be like, oh, this is where the wind's blowing, I'm going to go that way. When it comes to Israel, 90% of people could be like, fuck Israel. And you'll hear Keir Starmer like, no, it's anti-Semitism.
The craziest thing about this is that if they manage to overturn this is going to turn into the biggest shit show ever, right? Because this has brought so much attention to this. If those fans are now allowed to come, you're going to have the, football hooligan Tommy people turn up. You're going to have the left turn up. You're going to have protesters turn up. You're going to have
and it's going to be absolutely unpoliceable as well, because you got to bear in mind. This is not like the stadiums you get, like, for instance, when Italy played Israel in Italy this week, wasn't it? Earlier this week. They played in Udine, which is a city kind of isolated, and the stadium's on the edge of town, and they can kind of essentially shut it off and completely control the situation. Villa Park is a very old stadium, and it is situated in a very domestic setting. There are houses literally within stone's throw of the building, right? You have tight roads and alleyways leading around the stadium. If you get those kind of groups of people on top of the tens of thousands actually attending the game, that's impossible. As a policing endeavour, it becomes literally impossible. They would essentially, I think, the game would have to be called off, because I don't think you could maintain any kind of public safety across basically the entire north of Birmingham.
Yeah, it's going to be a complete shit show. If they manage to overturn this now, it's going to become a complete shit show.
And just
they brought this on themselves, and it's not going to be fair on the community who live in that area.
And you've already got the sort of problem of, even if it survives this ban, you have the certain members. There's sort of a civil war happening between the Jewish Aston Villa supporters club, between people who are not necessarily very pro-Israel and some who are like rabid Zionists, who want to turn up at the game with Israeli flags as a protest, which, by the way, rather undercuts the idea that Jews have been banned, because they haven't, because the Aston Villa Jewish football supporters club is fine, that they're allowed to attend, because they're not like violent fucking racist lunatics, at least in part. So it's already going to be a bit of an issue. But yeah, if they actually allow these fans to turn up, it's going to be a bloodbath. And I mean that
Yeah.
literally. I don't say this in any sense of glee, because as a denizen of this city, I really, really don't want this to take place. But there will be blood in the streets. I would not be surprised to see actual deaths.
And if they reverse it and this happens, then yeah, you're right. In a way, though, as terrible as it sounds, I wouldn't want that to happen. It will prove them right. But again, I don't think it would matter to the media, because this isn't about football fans. This isn't the way they're trying to weaponize, a specific group of people on a specific football team from a state, country, and they're trying to say it's Jewish people. So even if they let them in and there was mass violence, do you know what they say? Muslims, isn't it? Big population of Birmingham. Oh, Ayub Khan, because he started that petition to get them banned, they drummed up hatred for Jewish people, so they're going to flip it on its head anyway.
Well, this is the madness of it. It's racist and mental enough to equate the actions of an entire country with those of all Jewish people in the world. To try and equate the fans of one football club as equivalent to all Jewish people. So if you criticise Maccabi Tel Aviv, you're criticising every Jewish person on earth, apparently.
So
it's ridiculous.
If we attack them for singing jokes about rape, right? In their logic, that means you're calling every Jewish person someone who supports rape.
Also, it's not even...
That's their logic.
It's not a joke.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not.
They're not joking about that. They are violent lunatics. Literally, they're one of the few clubs in Israeli football history who've been censured and fined by their own football association for their fans' consistent harassment of Israeli Arab footballers.
I think what's interesting about all of this and the constant response to any event that happens like this is that the way they paint out the left to be woke, the way we apparently act, the way we apparently want the world, is everything that they do when it comes to quote unquote anti-Israel / anti-Semitism, because they blur that line, obviously, right? Everything they accuse of us of doing is what they're doing.
Well, literally
for Israel, essentially.
It's the soy woke right crying about anti-Semitism because they're
exactly
making it up.
Snowflakes. Yeah. Under Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour Party had to were forced essentially by public, and I say public, I mean media pressure, to adopt the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which included the thing about you can't conflate Israel with all Jewish people. But apparently, with Michael Gove, he can just directly do that, and the media will not call him out for that.
Yeah, there was actually, I mean, that I showed one tweet of his, right, but there was a following tweet where it was responding to Mehdi Hassan. And Mehdi Hassan said, you're conflating Israel and Jewish people. That is anti-Semitic. Here's the IHRA definition. And then Gove was kind of like, yeah. And he basically agreed that he was conflating Jewish people with Israel, then doubled down on it. So, this is a new bit now. A new bit from Gove was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I am being anti-Semitic. So fucking what?
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. We should probably bring up some comments, actually. I think people have been eagerly...
Yeah, sorry. Just a wild issue. Actually, let's quickly do gifts. So we've had Bloody Blah.
Thank you.
Has gifted 10 left memberships. Thank you so much.
I love that name.
And Andrina Websdale has also gifted 5. Thank you so much.
Don't forget you can give me
Andrina.
money
Let's,
as well,
jump
chat.
to
I've muted
comments.
myself. They
We're gonna
can't
go
hear me say that, but you
backwards,
can give me
I
money.
think.
You
Yes. Let's step away for 1 second. Autumn asked, who does Kev support? Wolves. And then Ollie replied, apparently saying that you support Birmingham City.
The mighty Birmingham City.
There we go.
We are blue, we are white, and the Villa are shite at a bowler.
I'm surprised Birmingham can get 11 decent players together, though.
Well, no, we got 2. It's good. We're fine. 9 shithouses and 2 good players. It's all good.
Oh well, you've got the amount of people to turn up to have a game, then I guess.
Well, exactly. Yeah. No, we can field a team. It's just they don't play very good football. Yeah. Sorry. Go on. No, go on.
Vicky Clee, but someone on Twitter said that any Israeli fan could go to his house to watch the footy, which was brave. They probably wouldn't leave.
To be fair, the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans were promised an away ticket allocation 5,000 years ago in the Bible. So.
Seriously, imagine inviting them around your house. Sorry, this is mine now. Fuck off. Wait, what do you mean? No, this is my place now, and if you decry this, you're anti-Semitic.
They're going to start building illegal settlements in the Holt End. I'm telling you.
What's worth noting as well is that there was some commentary about the FIFA guy being there in Egypt when they were doing the
yeah, that was weird. Yeah. The head Gianni
actually,
Infantino, the head of FIFA, was just there. Like, you're not a country. Why the fuck are you there? What? Go on,
yeah,
sorry.
I don't know what went on in the background, and people are still trying to figure out exactly why he was there. But what we do know is, like, it was only a couple of weeks before when, obviously, the decision about whether FIFA were going to intervene when it comes to letting Israel play or be suspended from certain things. Just discussions are going on in the background, and some of the football federations, organizations from around the world, and it was reported in Israeli media. I don't think it made it over to the UK that they literally called in the Trump administration to do something. We don't know what it is, but obviously his presence there is obviously a part of it, right? You don't go from 1 week like being worried about being kicked out of UEFA and FIFA and all these other organizations or being suspended, and then suddenly the biggest footballing president in the world is at a Gaza peace deal signing in Egypt.
Well,
It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, you'd think he would want Israel removed from international competition, given that the Israeli government have literally murdered many Palestinian international footballers.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Apparently they don't count.
They don't. That's the thing. So many of them have been killed, and we will jump onto another comment about anti-Islam rhetoric. So Stanley Beckett put, all those tweets expose how anti-Muslim bigotry has penetrated the British political establishment, and that's before we get onto fucking Starmer. And I'll quickly make this point because I think it's still relevant, and I will keep screaming this. If the march that happened last month with Tommy's march, if you switched every single time they said the word Muslim with Jew or Jewish or Judaism, that march would have not even been allowed to go ahead. The people would have been banned from ever being able to march again, and it would have been immediately stopped. That would not have been allowed. But there is a complete acceptance of anti-Islamic, anti-Muslim, whatever rhetoric you want to put it in,
It's
anti-Arab, whatever you want to be in this country, and there's so many double standards with it.
Yeah,
you have
100%.
to, whenever you see this, you have to, in your mind, replace the word Muslim with Jewish person, and you will see how fucked up the comment is. But because anti-Muslim bigotry is so normalized, a lot of people don't pick up on that. They say, "Well, it's just a religion." But again, Lewis, you're absolutely right. Replace the word with Jew, and see how bad it sounds. And anyone, all those people in the media and politicians who say these things about Muslims, and if I had a magic switch and it changed the word to Jew, all these people wouldn't be in the media. Half of them would be fucking locked up probably.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't be in the media.
Yeah, 100%.
And that just shows how normalized Islamophobia is, how easy it is to pass, because the majority of people have been conditioned to not pick up on it. And it takes someone to say, replace the word Muslim with Jew, and then some people might go, oh fuck, yeah, that sounds really bad. But people have been conditioned to let it pass. It's so normalized.
Yep.
Actually, what I'd love to see, almost tying it to the AI topic, can somebody actually use AI for something good and go take all these clips of people, whether it's Farage, GB News, all these journalists, and just use AI and switch every time they say the word Muslim, Islam, extremist, and just switch it with Judaism, Jewish Judaism. Not to the point of like, it's not about making Jewish people the victim. It's about just showing in our minds, right? We get brought up in this country off of the back of World War II. We have it drilled into us so much. All of our parents watch these documentaries. We have it drilled into in year 7, 8, and 9, and it's just such a part of our culture and our history that we know anti-Semitism the second we see it, right? And it's completely unacceptable, which as it should be, but that needs to be applied to everything else.
For instance, the historical parallel would be, say, if you had a newspaper, like, let's pick one at random, the Daily Mail, who literally said hooray for the brown shirts. And made literally the same arguments they now make about Muslim immigration, they made about Jewish immigration at the time.
Oh yeah, there's another famous article from that time where they were referred to as Jewish aliens. I think it was a Daily Mail article. Jewish aliens coming into the country, stealing jobs. And then there was another article about, crime's gone up recently, and a lot of these Jewish people have come into the country recently. They must be connected. Literally the same rhetoric over and over again. Just insert minority.
Yeah.
However, it's a big story, but we have to move on to the other topics. We had lots of love for Specs, obviously being a guest. So obviously, Autumn put Specs, you're smashing it.
Shout out to the person in my chat who said when that was on, they said Kev's lost a lot of weight. Fair dude, you know when you've been taught,
What, and then suddenly went from a Brummie accent to a Welsh accent.
when you've been absolutely fucking violated that effectively, you've just got to hold your hands up.
I tell you what, it's our chat is so wholesome. People are generally quite nice. You go on to fucking Kevin.
Oh no, we're scum.
Me.
We're absolute scum.
You're fucking mean to
D-
each other. So funny. You're so fucking mean.
True.
Deflating to such an extent changes the voice. But we had some. Specs also put Spexception.
Like that.
Then somebody
Very
put Ollie put woo Specsgeddon. So we had lots of love for Specs. And jumping on to comments about AI, actually. Kevin, I started this comment, but then Kevin actually brought the same thing up. We need to be talking about the devastating impact of data centers on QOL, resources, requirements, etc., etc. The North is about to be slighted again after this AI deal. Yeah, it's completely out of control, the amount of energy it's using.
Yeah, it doesn't get discussed enough. The main thrust of the AI debate is slop content, which we should always still talk about because it's slop. But the real devastating impact is on the environment because there's so much energy in these data. I said this earlier. So much energy being used in these data centers.
Yeah.
It is unreal. It's insane. People don't realize how bad it is.
Well,
so we are literally fucking up the planet.
Yeah.
For slop.
At a time when we need to be reducing energy output, we're vastly increasing it. For nothing, for seemingly no actual beneficial outcome.
Even for the sort of free marketeers, pro-growth people, and I'm not anti-growth by the way, but you know the type I'm talking about, right? At least you could say building something is good for growth, and you have a social utility. Something comes out of it. What do these pro-growthers say when it comes to AI? There's no social utility that comes out of it. It's all just negative. It's negative on the mind. It's negative on human creativity. It's negative on trust because of misinformation and lies. And it's negative on the planet. So where's this social utility come from? And also when it comes to growth, I know that India have had a lot of success on their economy. They've been one of the fastest growing economies globally, excuse me. Also, but with a caveat, by the way, the UK is India is very similar to the UK in regards that growth is going to the top 1%. The top 1% own 50% of the wealth in India, but a lot of that growth also comes from AI. And I do wonder, how is that growth calculated? How does AI factor into growth numbers? Because that's something that really befuddles me. Because at the moment, AI is usually free. It's just created and shared, whereas growth is usually based on transactions or value of a particular company.
Well, it's probably...
I don't really know how it's calculated with AI, and in terms of real terms, how is it growing the economy?
I mean, all I can think is that there's a significant amount of American investment money and Chinese investment money going into hiring all of the spare capacity that buildings have in India for use of data banks. That's literally, I mean, like Amazon, people forget this. Amazon don't make virtually any of their money, statistically speaking, from what we know Amazon for, like buying stuff on Amazon.com. The vast majority of their profits come from US government contracts where they hire out like aircraft hangars for vast banks of data for the US Army.
Socialism for the rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's their other branch of company called? Amazon, what's it called? Like their data side?
Amazon CIA. I don't know.
I can't remember its name now. I've completely gone blank. Anyway, moving on to
Blue Origin.
No, that's the space company.
No, I know. I'm joking. By the way, Amazon Web Services, apparently.
Oh yeah, I just literally googled it now. Amazon Web Services. Yeah, thank you. AWS. Moving on to Ash, as Autumn puts, well, she keeps the audience engaged. She's such a good communicator, and a lot of people have a lot of love for Ash. I feel like out of the Navarre a lot, she's definitely got the best communication out of them all. I feel like she knows...
no, surely friend of the show, No Justice MTG is the best.
Have you just slighted our friend there, Lewis?
You're out of order.
Fucking out of order.
When Helena is on question time, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But in terms of she's got the best communication style for she matches it perfectly for whoever she's talking to, which is what you need. She'd probably make a really fantastic politician and then become corrupt and
I don't want. I would hate. For
you don't want it to happen.
To stay on the outside, right? Because as soon as they go on the inside, you've lost a great communicator on the outside and probably gets corrupted anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think the worst trend that we have in democracy is when somebody just sounds good and somebody's like, let's make them prime minister. Oh, Jeremy Clarkson, he says things that I like. Let's make him prime minister. I fucking hate
Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
Well, he might be running against Ed Miliband.
Ed Miliband, yeah.
But I mean, I think that story about the thrust of that story was about communication, though, because I think you can't really have better politics and better policies if you don't have good communication, right? And I think this is something we've taken obviously very seriously. If Ben was here, my God, he'd be talking our ear off about it because he's very hot on it, which he should be. Which is because I read a book from Mehdi Hasan, How to Win a Debate. That's a very good book to read because it listen to it on audiobook actually because it gives you examples, right? And it's about sort of mixing the fact and the emotion together. You can have, doing one without the other is very problematic when winning people over, because if you just go on emotion, which is basically the right wing tactic. I mean, did anyone watch that Carol Malone versus Zach Polanski on the Jeremy Vine show? Insane stuff. She sounded crazy because she was just shouting and shouting and shouting. Right, that doesn't win people over. But coming across as technocratic, like, well, actually, this data shows this, that also doesn't work because you look like a briefcase knob. You need both. True. And I think Ash, and by the way, Ash Sarkar, she's also really cool. She's just cool as fuck. Yeah. She combines the two. And I thought she was, I didn't watch the whole of Question Time. Obviously, you watched it. She didn't get much time to speak. But in the clip she did, I think they do very powerful for social media.
Yeah, no, I thought she did well, yeah.
Make her president. No. Moving on to the first story about Labour Greens. Michael just put, nothing Labour offer is attractive to young people, which is true. It's every time I see any of the Labour Party just defending their record so far, right? They always go to the free school meals, offering this, offering that, yada yada yada, and it just feels like they're offering what sounds like to most people like the basics, in the sense of like, this is what everybody should have anyway. This is not a revolutionary policy. It's good that some of the policies that Labour have done and they're working towards are objectively good policies, but they're not catching anybody's attention by it. They're not.
It's crumbs from the table.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing revolutionary.
Tinkering
around the edges. That's all they're doing.
The thing is, you don't even need revolutionary. You just need. I mean, like you look at the Green Party manifesto and even the abolishing landlord stuff. This isn't radical stuff. I mean, the housing policy, which by the way is a fucking fantastic set of policies, right? It is basically the housing policy we had pre-Thatcher.
Yeah.
It is not, and are you going to say that 1960s, 70s Britain was radical? No. Of course, in today's standards in 2025, with the Overton window moving so far to the right and the current crop of shit that we've got is, media pundits in the commentariat, it is revolutionary and radical. So we don't even need Labour to be revolutionary or radical, but they have been so obsessed in giving like the smallest of crumbs that you could say, well, objectively, that's a good policy and it proves the country by like 0.1%. It's not good enough. It's not going to get headlines anyway. You need to make a big material difference.
Yeah.
And like just basic social democracy is, I mean, again, I'm a socialist. I think we should have more radical policies than that. But basic social democracy, people like that. People like basic social democracy.
Yeah.
That's why the Greens are... sort of really increasing their support.
Well, it's interesting that they're going to allow 16 and 17-year-olds to vote, considering they've just burned all their chances of winning any of those votes. Like they would have hoovered that vote up if they'd not been like.
I'm very happy that they're going to go.
It hasn't gone through Parliament yet. They could delay it.
Yeah, they might do. Yeah, we can't allow more people to not vote for us. Yeah.
If not, they'll just prescribe them.
True.
I think somebody put that earlier. Actually, I think that's why I kind of half stole the joke. Did somebody put that earlier? I'm pretty sure I started a comment saying. Oh, there we go, Michael. Thank you. Found it. He was talking about the Green Party. This was in reference to when you guys discussing the Green Party. If not, they'll just get prescribed. It's fine.
Who fucking knows these days?
True.
Yeah.
Zach Polanski is very much the modern day Osama bin Laden.
Oh, obviously. I mean, it's
Fact.
uncanny. They
Fact.
even look alike.
Fact.
Osama bin. No, I was going to say Osama. No, never mind. I was going to make a bad joke about garden, like green, but it just lost. No, not going to work. Not going to work. Graham message to Kev. Kevin insulted me last time I was on turn left, so I'm just going to sit here and gently troll him tonight, mods. Don't mind me. So, Kevin, you have enemies.
Did I? When did I insult you? What?
I vaguely remember you insulting one of our viewers, but I can't remember what you said.
But Graham already hit back anyway and said Kev looks like the kind of guy who stopped voting Green when he found out Zach Polanski didn't actually do the boob hypnosis.
Solid burn. I can't. There's no arguing with that. I do look like that. That is true. Yes. Okay. Well, Graham.
Very good.
Graham.
Very good. From Graham.
Graham. I mean, you want war, motherfucker? Let's dance. Let's go. I'm going to absolutely torture. I'm going to come up with a series of puns based upon the very little I know about you and absolutely rinse you next time. So be prepared. Be prepared.
Right at the start of the show, Paul King put late, and then Specs put wouldn't be TL if it wasn't.
Yeah, I wonder whose fault that was.
It wasn't mine.
No, it's fucking Graham, the prick.
Yeah, it was Graham.
By the way, just everyone was talking about at the beginning of the chat. Any comments on the breaking news that Prince Andrew has given up all of his royal titles, including the Duke of York? He still kept the title Prince, though, and he gets to still live in Windsor Castle.
Does that then mean something's going to come out? Because obviously for a while, like, everyone just forgot about it, and they're like, oh, I guess paedophilia doesn't matter when you're a white royal. So now this has suddenly happened. Surely something else is going to come out, which is like, okay, he cannot get away with this.
I think it's because of the book. Virginia Giuffre just what's the correct word? I can never say the word. Is it posthumously?
Posthumously.
No. It says posthumous is like how the word.
I used to think it was posthumously.
Yeah, posthumous. I can't say it. Anyway, yes, she's posthumously published a book which says like more details. Like I think I briefly saw information. It was like 3 different occasions that he sexually assaulted her and said that he was obsessed with power and just all this information that's come out. So I'm guessing that's what's triggered it, unless something else is going to come out.
Do you mean he's a sweaty nonce after all? The thing we already all knew. Yeah, of course he is.
The thing is, if his fucking ass ain't going to jail,
well, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. I don't give a fuck about him losing some titles. Yeah. Go to prison forever. That's the only thing that should be. That's the only news I will ever accept about Andrew. That and his inevitable death, because of course we all will die. That I will have any interest in.
But I want the remainder of his life to be in fucking jail.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Which won't happen.
Yeah.
Well, hackers are obviously still going after certain emails. I think there was obviously still like 20,000 emails that were hacked from like the former Israeli Prime Minister and other people. So I'm sure more information will keep coming out. People are still obsessed with the General Epstein story and, where are the Epstein files?
I mean, let's see those who are protesting the Bell Hotel, protesting outside the Buckingham Palace.
No, because it's no, they're not. It's as long as they're white rapists, it's fine.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Natalie, Curtis, ask Kev why he isn't a Villa fan.
Kev, why are you not a Villa fan?
Because I'm not like a degenerate inbred.
Cool. Did you know, actually, I'm a Liverpool fan, but when I was younger, I actually supported Villa for like a very short amount of time. It's because I like their kit.
I knew you were fucking wrong then. I knew it.
Well, I support Liverpool now, so...
Yeah, you've got a fucking fine Scouse accent as well. Love it.
Him? See, he told you it was good.
Yeah. Oh, Balter. You've got the full pad today.
Him? There you go.
One chips and a can of Coke.
They tell you what, this is a fucking long... An hour and 36 minutes for a Friday.
Is that how long it's been going on? Oh, shit.
Insane!
I actually tried to keep the comments short as well.
We did have 4 stories, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, 4 stories is pretty good. Yeah.
That is.
We did get one last super chat from Rachel. I think this is going back to the Israeli topic. Do you believe that all parades deserve to exist? I think I've lost like the flow of the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know what does that. All parades deserve to exist.
It's obviously to do with the football hooligan story.
Right.
Rachel, clarify so we can give you an answer. Sorry.
Stop being fucking weird. Just say you say. Come on now.
Just say it. But anyway, but yeah, it was a really good show. Let's see if Rachel's still here. I'm not sure if she's gone to bed. Getting late, guys.
Because we've been going for so long that she's gone to bed.
She literally overran. She overran so long. Everyone's asleep.
Just watching the comments to see if anything comes through. Good
and I
old
tell you
Rachie.
what, doing a show with Kev on Friday is quite funny because it's getting to like 9:15. We're all going a bit, it's all getting a bit degenerate. Villa are the only team scummier than Leeds.
Hey, I'm from Leeds.
I live in Leeds.
I don't give a shit about football.
I don't give a fuck with the football team. There, to be fair.
That stadium in Leeds is an absolute eyesore. I thought it was old. Oh, there we go.
Well, this is genuinely true.
I don't understand that.
For the film The Damned United, which was about Leeds United in the 1970s, when Michael Sheen played Clough. In order to get the aesthetic of Elland Road, the stadium in Leeds, in the 1970s, they went and filmed in the Elland Road in 2006 or whatever it was.
Really?
Literally, yeah. They just changed the sign to the old sign that used to be outside, in squiggly writing, and just filmed there because it was fine because the outside hadn't fucking changed in 50 years. It was mad.
At least we've got Headingley Stadium though. It looks like a decent stadium from the outside. At least.
Yeah. No, it's not. Well, but both Headingley, the cricket stadium, and Headingley Carnegie, the rugby stadium's pretty good as well.
My cousins used to play for the Rhinos.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So Rachel clarified New York mayoral debate.
I don't get it.
Wait, someone bring up the previous questions. Do you believe? I'm sorry, Rachel. I don't. Get it.
Well, for anyone who's listening, you can come and watch that debate with me. I'm going to watch it after this, and we'll find out what the fuck this person is talking about. Presumably, there was a question where they asked about this some shit. Or, I don't know. Yeah.
Mamdani and Cuomo debate.
Oh, I'm way behind them.
And
Mamdani news.
Sliwa, the Republican guy who is mental. I love him. He's the most strange.
He's very funny, isn't he?
Oh, I get. So yeah, Rachel said they were talking about which parades they would and wouldn't officiate.
Really?
Oh, sorry, Rachel. I haven't caught up on that news. Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, it sounds immediately like one of those questions, which is like, would you go to this parade? Would you go to that parade? Just to try and corner Mamdani, which they keep trying to do. By the way, it's going to be when he becomes mayor, it is going to be like everything that we know about like the attacks on Sadiq Khan. It's going to be like that.
Oh my god, it's going to be
one fucking 100%. Like it's going to be so insane when he becomes mayor.
Oh yeah, they're genuinely going to try and get him assassinated. Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I was just going. Yeah, that as well. But I was just going down the line of like he's going to literally nuke fucking New York or something. Like he's going to just use every single power that he possibly can. Like if imagine what he's doing right now to places like Chicago, LA, and other places, Portland, right? Imagine what he's going to do to New York City when Mamdani becomes mayor. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, that's it for the comments.
Okay.
Let's make sure no super chats have come through. No, good. That is it. We are all done. Sorry for dragging out the show, but we had a good one.
Well, thank you so much. That was a good one, wasn't it? But of course, that is all we have time for. Thank you to our viewers who tuned in. Of course, thank you to Kevin for joining me tonight. It's been excellent jump scare.
Yeah, sorry, I was preparing my next thing. Yes, bye.
And thank you, of course, to our viewers who tuned in. Remember to like this stream, and if you're not a subscriber, then please hit that button. If you want us to grow, then you can head over to turnleftmedia.co.uk/supports. There is a link to our Patreon, where you can support us monthly, or follow the other link to give us a one-time contribution. Alternatively, you can become a YouTube member for just 99p. Thank you so much, and we'll be back on Monday. gonna fucking crack open my beer now. Oh, I've been dying to have this beer.
But people died to make that beer.
Hey, this is in support of the Palestinian cause.
Oh, I want to do my fucking
that
Adolf
beer
Hitler
doesn't-
song.
That
Ugh.
beer doesn't exist. It never existed.
I'm becoming Hamas.
Yeah, there's no. There's
Oh my
never.
God,
There's never been a.
jihad!
There's never been a beer called Palestine before. Show me the. Show me the off license where it says that, please. Yeah.
At least you can get this from the co-op.
Oh my God, jihad, Hamas.
Anyway.
You're gonna recycle that. You're gonna recycle that can to make a missile.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You realise you're still live on my end.
I know.
Okay, well, I mean, just if you get arrested, this is on you.
Lewis, Kev can say what we want, but me and you have got a reputation to uphold. So we managed to get Ash Sarkar to be interviewed by Lewis, and then like last minute she's like, "I just seen that clip of you making these jokes. I'm not sure if I can do it."
This is quality humor, though. It's objectively funny.
It is pretty funny, to be fair. Yeah, that is true.
Your laugh when you make a dark joke is so funny. You can tell, like, you can tell when you make a dark joke because you do that laugh.
Rinse.
It's like you just know when I made a dark joke because he's like.
It is. It's a naughty sort of dirty laugh. I like it.
I just woke up my cat from laughing as well. He's not happy. Oh, why is he waking up at this time? He's gonna want feeding. He's supposed to get fed for like another hour. What do you want?
Oh, there is a cat as well. Oh, well, there was. Yeah.
I just want to get your cat in shot. You've had a haircut.
I cut it myself. It's very short.
Yeah, I can tell.
Just also not the bright angle. There we go.
You're just staring at like half of.
It's just
Kev's
I haven't
chin.
washed my hair today, so it's just
That is
this
actually the shortest I've ever seen your hair.
Yeah, and you can really see my hairlines. I really fucked up. I was actually trying to basically neaten up like my hair, just at the sides, and I completely fucked up, and made it way too short. And then I just.
Are you wearing
ended up,
Are you wearing a dressing gown?
I am. One sec. One sec.
I might actually invest in one because they look really comfy.
This is lovely, lads, but I've got a 2-hour debate to get through. So
Yeah.
unless you like, there's something you actually want to talk about. Your chit chat about fucking dressing gowns is not getting it done. Like.
I think this is more important than fucking some New York mayor I've never heard of.
Well, yet until he nukes New York, and then you will have heard of him.
Exactly.
Fact.
When he globalizes the Intifada. Okay, right. I need to eat anyway. Thank you so much for sharing. A lot of fun, actually. Only fucking 2 hours, though. Damn.
That is mad. Yeah.
I guess there won't be a clip tonight, though, so maybe tomorrow the clips come out. I will also
Hey,
send you the
Pussycats.
link. I'll send you the links.
Name.
to
We
the
need
collab.
We need name and age of cat.
ASL.
His name is Jojo or Joe. I call him Jojo. And how old's he now? 2.5.
Oh, absolute legend, Jojo. Love it, mate.
He is 2.5. Jojo.
Love it.
My favorite
Okay.
cat noises.
Do I have to stick around for like?
No. Don't
No,
do that.
just watch your debate on 1.5. That's what I do.
Yeah. Okie doke, lads. Thank you for this, and I will talk another time. Yeah.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Bye. Okie doke. There we go. I have turned the alert box back on so you can give me money in humorous ways now. News: Pam Bondi is taking the guns as she's demanding list of gun owners. Well, I mean, they fell for it again, lads. What a surprise. Thank you to... Things happened. What happened? Something happened. Thank you, Dan PJK, with 5 gifties while I was away. And I say while I was away, I was talking to people. Why did I look in the camera? Anyway. And thank you, Katie Marshall, who says, rejoice, your mad Scottish Marxist is here. Well, indeed. And everyone go and follow Katie Marshall / Mad Cat Scotty I on the various platforms. Also, Miss Hire, what the fuck does this mean? Miss Hire reached a 3-stream streak. And they said, well said, Ash. What does that mean? What is this? What is this madness? Watch 3 streams in a row. But presumably, I mean, isn't Wayward Astorian on like a 1,000,000 stream streak then? Why am I never told about this? Why do I get a message about you doing that for 3 and not anyone else or something? That's the first time I've ever seen that thing. I don't know what that means. I don't. It means I need help. Oh, there we go. Marcel's got one as well. But what is that a new thing that they're telling me? Say 3 stream streak 3 times fast. 3 stream streak, 3 stream streak, 3 stream streak. I did it, mother flippers. It's something dumb Twitch is pushing. It's Twitch AI. Oh, probably. Anyway, yes, you can... okay, yeah, I get it. Thank you, Swirly Curly. 3 stream fucking streak, yes. There are regular viewers in chat. I love you all. It's not new. Only people who are seeking attention use that feature. Burn. Anyway, yes. You can do bits messages and subscriptions and super chats and memberships and all of that jazz.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
True. I've got some new noises as well, which I will be using as we go along. And yes, let's. I think it's it might definitely be worth going 1.25 at some point, but for now, we'll go with that.
2-hour debate live on all NBC New York and Telemundo 47 streaming and digital platforms. Politico.com, Telexitos, and YouTube.
Thank you, Guitar Guy 80.
Live on Channel 4 and
4 months on the YouTubes.
We do have a few rules for the candidates. Get some traditional questions.
Thank you to Swirly Curly for subscribing as well. A 3rd baby. True. Earlier I turned left. Now I'm turned Kev. Maybe I need to work on that joke. Nah, it's good. It's solid. No revising and resubmitting necessary. It's all good. Thank you to everybody. Someone said Lux raided in earlier, but I missed that. But thank you if that did indeed happen. Much love to you. And I made a noise too, lol. You did indeed. Didn't I say thank you to Guitar Guy for 4 months? I think I did. I don't know. Anyway. But I've said it now. Thank you.
Question and answer. You'll have 1 minute to respond, and we'll offer 30-second rebuttals at the moderator's discretion. We'll also be asking questions where we will be looking for shorter answers. We also reserve the right to cut off your microphone if you ignore the rules, but candidates, you know we don't want to do that. The goal is for you to hear each other and for New Yorkers to hear everything you have to say. Good luck. We'll begin with Melissa Russo.
Thank you, David, and good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. We begin tonight by asking you to do what every mayor dreams of, and that is to write your own headlines. Imagine it's January 2027, and you have been in office for exactly 1 year. We would like you to quickly give us one headline about what you think your biggest accomplishment will have been in year number 1. We'll begin with you, Mr. Cuomo.
First, thank you very much for sponsoring the debate and having all of us. The one headline, how many...
Oh, I've got the perfect one for this. Where is it?
Stop it. Get some help.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
That's very quiet. I need to raise the volume on that one. Because I think I might be needing that during this stream. Where are we? Apologies, chat. That needs to go. I'll whack that right up.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Facts. It's still very quiet, but that is the loudest it will go. Fuck yeah. Okay. There we go. Apply. Okay. Right then. Ooh. Jackie Daytona. Love it. From Arizona. This is how we talk in Tucson, Arizona. Hang on a minute. Boom!
Characters in the headline.
No, you're familiar with headline length.
Rent down, comma, crime down, comma, education scores up, comma, more jobs in New York City.
Now we're getting maybe a little
Comma.
over the average headline length, but
Optimism.
Surely the headline you want is, "This guy totally isn't a rapist. You can trust him." It won't be happening anytime soon, but you get the idea.
High.
thank you. Mr. Sliwa.
Curtis Sliwa
At
is without
KF Logan
his iconic red.
1875, I thought you were a guardian angel. Too. Where's your beret?
True. This, honestly, Sliwa is my favourite. He's my favourite because he's fucking mental. This guy, he's the Republican candidate, Sliwa or Silwa or however the fuck you pronounce it. I don't care. He's a mentalist. He's the he walks around in a fucking beret all the time. Genius. Thank you to Swirly Curly. Much love to you. There was also a poll, but okay. Thank you, Robo Squid Killer, for subscribing with Prime. Much love. Much love. Thank you to Pandanus Rex with 60 months. That's mental. That's fucking mental. Which one do I use for this? Let me look.
Epic dub.
Boom. I've got some new ones which I'm saving because I need to use them at the right time for it to be funny, I guess. Thank you, Pandanus. Much love. And thank you, Thinking Sabercat, with 200 bitty bits. Much love to you. I thought you were a guardian angel too. Where's my beret? Where is my beret? What the fuck happened to it? Actually, what did happen to it? What the fuck? Where have I put the hat? How do you lose a bowler hat? Really? Where the fuck is that thing gone? I don't appear to have dropped it on the floor, so have I moved it somewhere? Oh, there it is. Fuck. I don't know why I fucking I don't know why I moved it, but here is my that's my hat.
Beret, because I'm talking to the people of New York City about the really serious issues of affordability, the cost of living, and obviously what I've spent most of my life doing, which is public safety in the streets and the subways.
We would love a headline from you. What will your headline be, your big headline, and your number one as mayor?
Curtis Sliwa exceeds all expectations and looks very mayoral tonight.
Mr. Mamdani.
You are coping and seething.
We've had some time to think about it now. What's your headline?
It's a pleasure to be here.
I've learned how to fade it out as well.
Here, first of all, and I really want to thank the moderators and the opportunity to speak directly to New Yorkers about this moment in time and our opportunity to transform the most expensive city in the United States of America. The headline would read in about a year, Mamdani continues to take on Trump, delivers on affordability agenda for New Yorkers.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Sally?
Thank you, Melissa. We're going to talk about leadership. Voters have reservations about all three of you as chief executive of New York City, a city with roughly 300,000 employees and a budget bigger than many countries. We have questions for each of you, and Mr. Cuomo, we will begin with you. As a former governor of New York, you obviously have the management experience, but you resigned from office amid sexual harassment and COVID-related scandals.
Oh.
Why should voters voters now trust that you have the character to be mayor? You have 1 minute.
Good. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the question. First, you are right. I left office. There was a report that was done that had allegations of harassment. I said at the time it was a political report, and that.
Coping so hard. Coping and seething.
The soundboard has meant that this my usual long, like fucking taking time to get through any video whatsoever is going to be impossible. Impossible.
At KF Logan 1875, surely as a YouTube atheist, you should have a fedora. Also, according to Trump and Grindr, Mike atheist are now terrorists in America, as well as everyone who votes Democrat, according to Trump Greener Worm Bimbo Levitt.
I'm not sure I understood the second half of that particularly, but thank you. Thank you to Ira Storing with Bitty Bits, and thank you to Thinking Cyberca. We didn't organise who I was going to finger, but I think it's Cuomo's self-respect, I guess, dignity, because he's sold it. He's never going to win this, but he's still out there getting rinsed for being a fucking sex pest. So I will finger his dignity because it died a long time ago.
There was no basis to it. It was then sent to 5 district attorneys. They all reviewed it. They found nothing. It was then litigated for 5 years. I was dropped from the cases. So none of that came to anything. When it comes to executive experience,
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
I've run the Department of Housing and Urban Development, built housing all across the nation. I was governor for 11 years. The budget is double what it is in New York City, and I got government to work. I passed groundbreaking laws, minimum wage, paid family leave, built projects that had never been built before. This is no job for on-the-job training.
Am I ignoring you? I'm not ignoring anyone, am I? What was this? I can't give a duck. In 2024, Guardian Angel shoved and headlocked a man on live TV in Times Square. Silver claimed he was a migrant and a shoplifter. He later boasted of pain compliance and vibrations felt in Venezuela. NYPD confirmed the man was from the Bronx. No shoplifting evidence was present. Silver guessed that based on language. The man received a summons for disorderly conduct. Oh yeah, Silver's a fucking knobhead. Yeah. I think he's funny because he's fucking mental and he's not going to win, so it's not that important. But like, yeah, he's a cunt, definitely.
And if you look at the failed mayors, they're ones that had no management experience. Don't do it again.
Thank you. Rosalina?
Thank you, Sally. In the theme of leadership, Mr. Mamdani, you work as a foreclosure prevention counselor for winning seat in the state assembly. You have no substantial management experience. How are you ready to lead the nation's largest and greatest city in the world in one day? You have a minute.
You know, I have the experience of having served in the New York State Assembly for 5 years and watching a broken political system, the experience of seeing a governor in Andrew Cuomo who would rather have served his billionaire donors and the working class New Yorkers who voted for him, and the experience amidst all of that.
Love it. Love it. Oh, God. Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
Of fighting and winning for working class taxi drivers to free them from predatory debt, and delivering the first free bus lines in New York City history, and in working with unions and working class New Yorkers to finally raise taxes just that little bit on Mr. Cuomo's donors to start to fully fund our public schools. And more than that, I have the experience of being a New Yorker, someone who has actually paid rent in the city before I ran for mayor, someone who has had to wait for a bus that never came, someone who actually buys his groceries in this same city. And what all of that experience has shown me, which Mr. Cuomo can't seem to understand, is that it is far too expensive and far too hard for New Yorkers to afford to live in this city. And the definition of experience is not doing the same thing again and again and hoping for a different result. That's actually the definition of insanity.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
If I can, I think I was invoked.
Yes.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, you have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic. If you don't know what you're doing, people could die.
Mr. Mamdani, want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes?
Oh, no.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have an experience, I make up for in integrity. And what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Oh, that's so good.
Epic dub.
Fuck yes.
May I? First, what you said was totally false, as you know.
Which part was false?
During COVID, everyone did whatever they could in this state. And there have been...
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Numerous investigations where they've gone through it, and they said we followed federal guidance. But yes, people died during COVID, and my heart breaks for everyone that died in this state and across this nation.
But just to be clear, Mr., just to fact check that, there is a criminal investigation reportedly underway at the DOJ.
Oh, he's already dead. He's already dead. Just to fact check that, there's a criminal investigation. Fuck me. Oh no. Oh, lads. Oh, it's so Quoma. Quover? Quover. It's never been more Quover than it currently is, lads. Oh. Chat, is he cooked? Is he cooked? I believe he is.
About your testimony to Congress about your nursing home record.
Yeah, but that is a political issue with the Congress. They made a referral, which has gone absolutely nowhere. But there have been multiple investigations where the DOJ found that the nursing home investigation was politically motivated.
Okay, we're going to move on. We might have time to come back to it. I do need to move on to Mr.
May I just finish my rebuttal? But the Assemblyman still says he has no experience to do the job.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cuomo. Mr. Sliwa, as founder of the Guardian Angels...
Like, you should just walk off the stage at that point. At that point, you're dead. You don't... it's over. You just need to leave. You just go. You're just like, well, it's over for me. It's like when fucking... what's his name? Bloomberg. When Bloomberg decided to jump into the Democratic race and spent like hundreds of millions of dollars to get no votes. And he spent hundreds of millions of dollars of his own money to get called a rapist on stage, basically. You're a rapist who did racist policing. You're evil. And he spent a fortune for it. Like, why are you doing this? You're not going to win. You're obviously not going to win. It's embarrassing. I think possibly Turn Left raided in. If they did, hello left turners. Left turners. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. You get the idea. Thank you, Madcap, for gifting a sub to Brody G99. Much love to you. And thank you, Wayward Historian, for gifting a sub to Thinking Sabercat. Just awesome people in chat tonight doing awesome things awesomely. Awesome.
And as a radio host, you've been a well-known figure in New York City for decades. But you also lack substantial management experience. So how are you prepared to be the chief executive officer of New York City? You have 1 minute, Mr. Sliwa.
First of all, I created the Guardian Angels to provide public safety in the subways and streets when government was incapable of doing so. I didn't do it to get a title or a paycheck. Secondarily, I don't declare myself to be all-knowing. I will hire the very brightest and best in their fields who have dedicated their lives to trying to improve the city of New York or the state or the federal government or the private sector. But what I will say is, thank God I'm not a professional politician. We have the architect and we have the apprentice of no cash bail, which has been a disaster. We have the architect and the apprentice here of Raise the Age. My own son was almost killed because of that in a gang attack. We have the architect and we have the apprentice of Close Rikers Island, which would just release criminals in the street. Thank God I'm not a professional politician, because they have helped create this crime crisis in the
You are coping and seething.
city that we face, and I will
Thank you, Mr.
resolve.
Sliwa.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Candidates, President Trump has expressed intense interest in this election and in all of you personally. Mr. Mamdani, the president called you,
Nothing
quote,
bad
my
can
little
happen.
communist.
It can only good happen.
Mr. Sliwa.
I don't even have to say things anymore. This has revolutionised this stream. I don't even have to fucking be here anymore. I can just train a chimp to press the buttons. I don't even have to say words. I can just be like...
Epic dub.
And it's enough. I don't need to fucking say shit. Fuck yes. AI Kevin, come... Yeah, I've been replaced by a soundboard. Yeah, Journeying Jordan, thank you. Yeah, you've changed my existence into non-existence, which is like kind of spiritual murder in many respects.
Well, he said your quote, not exactly prime time. And Mr. Cuomo, he has been critical of you, but said you have always gotten along. The president has threatened to cut federal funds to the city. And just yesterday, he killed the Gateway Project, the tunnel connecting New York to New Jersey. You've all promised to resist him in some way. What would you say in your first official call with the president to set the tone for your relationship moving forward? We'll give you a minute for this. We'll start with you, Mr. Mamdani.
I would make it clear to the president that I am willing to not only speak to him, but to work with him if it means delivering on lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers. That's something that he ran his presidential campaign on, and yet all he's been able to deliver thus far has been prosecuting his political enemies and trying to enact the largest deportation program in American history. And what distinguishes me from Andrew Cuomo is the fact that he has gotten on the phone with that same president, not asking him how to work together to help New Yorkers, or not telling him that he would refuse to back down to protect those New Yorkers, but instead asking him how to win this race. That's something I can do myself. I don't need the president's assistance for. And what I tell the president is if he ever wants to come for New Yorkers in the way that he has been, he's going to have to get through me as the next mayor of this city.
Love it.
Mr. Cuomo, we'll give you a little extra time, but I'd like you to answer this question as well, what your first conversation with the president would be like.
Okay. First, I never had a conversation with the president that the assemblyman was talking about.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
But he's has a distant relationship with the truth. I would say to the president in the first conversation, look, we have had many battles. We fought together every day during COVID, and the battles were bloody, and I'd like to avoid them. You know, if you come after New York, you know what I'm going to do. You know it's going to be ugly. And, you know, my chances are almost 50-50, even though you're the president. I'd like to work with you. I think we can do good things together.
The thing is, we know what you're going to do, and it's mainly involves sexual assault. Yeah.
But, number one, I will fight you every step of the way if you try to hurt New York.
Unless he weaponizes the justice system to go after the attorney general of this state, in which case you'll issue a statement that doesn't even name the president. And no matter what you think about Donald Trump, you know that not even being able to name him is an act of cowardice. And that's what we would see from Donald Trump's puppet on the right over here.
Oh, it's too good, chat. It's too fucking good. There's no way I'm getting through this, by the way. There's not a fucking chance I'm getting through this. Like, I'm going to have to do the second half of this tomorrow. Honestly.
I do want to get Ms. Sliwa, but Mr. Cuomo, I'll give you a few seconds to respond to that.
Yeah. I said political weaponization of the justice system is wrong. Both sides do it. It's wrong when Donald Trump does it. It's wrong when they did it to Comey. It's wrong when Comey did it to Hillary. It was wrong when it happened to Tish James.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo. I want to give Mr. Sliwa a chance to answer this. Mr. Sliwa, your first official conversation with the president, what would you say to set the tone?
Well, to be fair, he wouldn't say a lot because he'd have his mouth full.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Well, first of all, there's high levels of testosterone in this room. I've had...
What the fuck? What? What the fuck does that mean? You see what I mean? He's mental. I love him. He's fucking a lunatic, this guy. There's so much testosterone in here. I feel like I'm in the middle of a jizzing contest. I'm about to get pregnant both sides. I don't know why he's now turned into like some sort of weird, like, these two jive turkeys.
I love-hate
My accent work has not gotten any better.
Relationship with Donald Trump that goes back over 30 years. But I know one thing. We have Andrew Cuomo. We have Zoran Mamdani. They want to take on...
First time he tried. Zoran Mamdani. What was it?
We have Andrew Cuomo. We have Zoran Mamdani. They want to take on...
Mamdani. Zoran Mamdani. Yep. Yep. I mean, that's not his name. But good try. Good try. You forgot to add Hussein in the middle for extra racist points. It's not his middle name, but like, people get it, you know what I mean? It's, yeah, brown people bad. Yeah, we know. Yeah. We know what you're doing.
Donald Trump. Look, you can be tough, but you can't be tough if it's going to cost people desperately needed federal funds. Zoran Mamdani, the president, has already said it's going to take $7 billion out of the budget right from the start if you're elected mayor. People are going to suffer in this city. People who need those federal funds. What I would do is sit and negotiate. I would say, look, Mr. President, we need that Gateway Tunnel. It moves millions of people from Washington, D.C. to Boston. But take away the Q train project. We don't need those 3 stations going from 96th Street to 125th. It's not a necessity. Sit with the president and whoever he delegates and try to negotiate. But if you try to get tough with Trump, the only people who are going to suffer from that are the people of New York City.
Okay, Mr.
You fucking cock. His message to the people of New York is, I will not stand up for you if because the president's a man baby. I wonder why you're so far behind in the polls. I wonder.
Mr. Sliwa, thank you. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani.
You know, Mr. Trump is already suspending infrastructure grants to this city, and he's doing it in a blatant act of political retribution. And what it requires is leadership that will stand up to him. And I disagree with Mr. Sliwa. We do need to extend the 2nd Avenue subway to 125th Street. It was a promise made to Harlemites decades ago.
Okay.
It's time to actually fulfill
Thank
it.
you, Mr. Mamdani.
Okay, quick question for each of you. Mr. Cuomo, you've been asked this before.
He mentioned my name. Don't I get a chance to respond?
Well, we got a lot of ground to cover, Mr. Sliwa.
When was the last time you spoke with President Trump, Mr. Cuomo? You've been asked this before, and the last time you said you couldn't remember?
I believe it was during his assassination attempt.
So last year in
Which one? That doesn't narrow it down that much.
2024.
Also, when you say during his assassination attempt, well, you rang him as the bullet was not going through his ear because it was fake as fuck anyway. What do you mean? What?
Sliwa, when was the last time you spoke with President Trump?
Oh, many years ago, we were receiving awards. I was praising him for saving the annual Veterans Day Parade. Those were the conversations that I had with him. Could I please respond? I was asked about the Q train.
Okay, real quick.
Mr. Mamdani?
I am the mayor of mass transit. We do not need a Q train. I'm in the subways every day. We have more than a capable system of transporting people.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa.
The infrastructure needs to be fixed in the system that we have.
Mr. Mamdani, have you ever spoken with President Trump?
No.
Okay.
Absolute Chad. No. Nope.
Epic dub.
There you go. Sally. Thank you. Mr. Cuomo, a follow-up to that. President Trump has spoken positively about you and your candidacy, even as his Justice Department, as we've noted, is reportedly investigating you for allegations you lied to Congress over your COVID record. Given that dynamic, how would you be able to stand up to this White House? How are you not compromised? And just take into account the New Yorkers are troubled by what they view as a compromised relationship the current outgoing mayor has with the president.
Yeah. First, you're wrong when you say there's any investigation of me. That's not true.
Do you have evidence
Congress,
there is no investigation?
I've heard absolutely nothing. Congress did a press release. They said they sent a letter to the Department of Justice, which they do routinely to generate press, and that's what that is. I fought Donald Trump. He investigated me repeatedly with the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice Inspector General said that it was actually politically motivated. That does not back me up.
Yeah, but you are a sex pest. Like, I don't give a fuck whether you were investigated for this, that, and the other. You are a sex pest. Get in jail. I hear Rikers is very nice this time of year.
When I'm fighting for New York, I am not going to stop. And I'll tell you something else. If the Assemblyman is elected mayor, Donald Trump will take over New York City, and it will be Mayor Trump who runs New York City.
We have to move on. Just a very quick follow-up, yes or no. You're saying unequivocally the Justice Department is not investigating you, correct?
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
I've heard absolutely nothing.
They could be, and you might not have heard it. But okay, we'll move on. David?
Okay. Thank you, Sally.
Jesus Christ! Does he have a single positive interaction in this entire debate? Is there any point where he doesn't look horrific? Are there any good vibes for this dude? People who've already seen it, are there any good vibes from this guy at all? Or does he always come across as either a rapist or corrupt or killing your granny, or, you know what I mean? Just... Because, like... Mamdani's the only one who doesn't look like he's a fucking extra from The Sopranos, for a start off, so he already looks good in that respect. He's the only one who doesn't look like a mental old sex pest as well. It's fucking wild. These are the creatures that they've been dredged up. Come on, New York, you've got millions of people. This is the best you can fucking do. God damn.
That is virtually impossible, by the way. Okay.
So, Mr. Cuomo, you did put out an ad the day after the news first broke in the New York Times that you were under investigation, calling it a political investigation, saying they were coming after you as they had to, you know, after other Democratic politicians. You haven't denied this previously.
That the Republican Congress was. Yes, I believe they played politics with the justice system. Okay. I believe the Republican Congress does it. I believe Donald Trump does it. I believe the Democrats do it. And that's why I think people are sick and tired of the justice system and the politics.
If you think that there's no difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, then that's the candidate for you. If you think it's time to have a Democratic Party that actually stands up to Donald Trump and his billionaire-backed assault on working people,
well, first
thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
You're not a Democrat.
Candidates
right? You're not a Democrat. You're
Finally, those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh? Hey, comrades, hey?
Democratic socialists.
We have
you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, right?
We have other ground to cover. No, we have.
Yeah, neither did many other Americans.
No, that's an incendiary charge. I want to be very...
You may have a chance to address it, but we do
I'll be very
have a lot
quick.
of issues to get to with New Yorkers, Mr. Mamdani.
I'll be very quick.
You didn't say leave it blank in the Kamala
I'll be very
campaign?
quick. I said leave it blank in the presidential primary because primaries are a place to air dissent. And like many Americans, I was horrified by the Israeli genocide of Palestinians. And if you want to look for me on the ballot, you'll find me as the Democrat.
Mr. Mamdani, thank you.
True.
To move on. This week, the world is reacting to President Trump's Israel-Hamas peace deal and the release of the hostages.
Definitely a thing that the New York mayor has to consider.
And many are cautiously optimistic about a lasting peace. Of course, the mayor has no direct role in foreign affairs, and we certainly have a lot of...
So, why are you asking about it then?
...questions for you about city matters. But this war has been a major topic in the campaign. And there are criticisms about your positions in the past and how you envision leading on these issues as mayor. So we have questions for all of you.
You know, the famous Israel, Gaza, and NYC. Those are the three boroughs. Israel, Gaza, and NYC. No! Sleep till Israel! Famous song from the Beastie Boys. Very normal. Very normal.
But first for Mr. Mamdani, because of something you said that's been generating headlines in the news today as we come into the debate yesterday on Fox News. You were asked if Hamas should lay down its weapons, key to the peace plan and ceasefire. And some say they found your answer confusing. You said, quote, I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas and that applies to the Israeli military.
Is that confusing? That seems like a perfectly reasonable answer. Why is that confusing? It's Brooklyn. No, Mike, I know. I was doing the joke. Because I'm saying that Israel and Gaza are in fact not boroughs of New York, and therefore the fact that they're asking about that is absurd. So I was continuing that thematic joke by changing Brooklyn with Israel in the song as if it were one of the boroughs of New York, when it isn't. Jokes are always better when you have to explain them in great detail.
So for the voters tuning in tonight, Mr. Mamdani, what do you believe about Hamas and how lasting peace will be achieved? We know it's a complicated matter, but we'd like you to keep your answer to a minute if you could.
Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms. I'm proud to be one of the first elected officials in the state who called for a ceasefire. And calling for a ceasefire means ceasing fire. That means all parties have to cease fire and put down their weapons. And the reason that we call for that is not only for the end of the genocide, but also an unimpeded access of humanitarian aid. I, like many New Yorkers, am hopeful that this ceasefire will hold. I'm hopeful that it is durable. I'm hopeful that it is just. And for it to be just, we also have to ensure that it addresses the conditions that preceded this, conditions like occupation, like the siege, and apartheid. And that is what I'm hopeful for.
Yeah.
Epic dub.
He's just killing it, man. He's a proper, honest to God, he's genuinely one of the most naturally likable and skilled politicians that I've seen so far, right? Don't get me wrong, we'll wait and see if he does get elected whether he can actually fucking govern in any way, we don't know. But like, as a political operator, in terms of winning over support, certainly in New York, look, I don't think he's ever going to be president, because this motherfucker can't go down to like fucking Arkansas or some shit and campaign, because that's not going to be a thing. But in New York, this is exactly the person you need. His campaigning is so effective. Honestly, a lot of progressives around the world that are trying to win in major cities need to look at Zohran Mamdani's campaign and learn lessons.
If I may, that means from the river to the sea.
I'm being marginalized out of this.
I'm sorry. When
It's a debate of three. Excuse me, Andrew. It's a debate of three. Do we acknowledge that? Three people?
Rebel! I love it when a fucking mayoral debate for a city of like 10 million people or whatever descends into fucking the hippy-dippy levels of nonsense with just these two knockoff soprano fucking characters. Big Jimmy and Fat Paulie fucking screaming weird anti-Semitic shite at each other or something. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Is one or more of these people going to get whacked? I don't know.
Mr. Sliwa, go ahead, and we'll give you a second. Go ahead, Mr. Sliwa.
The President of the United States should have been applauded by you, Zohran Mamdani, and you, Andrew Cuomo, on the day...
What the fuck did he call him that time?
Been applauded by you, Zohran Mamdani, and you, Andrew...
Mamdani. Choose one mispronunciation at least.
Cuomo, on the day that he brought together that international coalition that met in Egypt, that came from the Middle East and the Persian Gulf. I certainly applauded him for bringing peace to Gaza and trying to end.
Has that happened? Has he brought peace to Gaza? Because it doesn't seem very peaceful still.
The hostilities in the war between the Israelis and Hamas, so there can be peace between the Israelis and peace between the Palestinians. But you seem, Zoran, to be incapable of praising our president and answering. You were.
I mean, I know you enjoy glazing him, but not everyone does it that way, mate.
Incapable of praising our president.
Gentlemen, we have
Give credit where credit is due. He's brought peace to Gaza.
Yeah, gentlemen, we want to hear everything you have to say. We have other questions on the matter. Mr. Cuomo, please, brief response, because we do have other questions on this issue that you may be able to address. Go ahead.
I did applaud President Trump and his administration. I think it was a great accomplishment. I hope the peace holds. The Assemblyman will not denounce Hamas. The Assemblyman will not denounce Hassan Piker, who said America deserves...
Fuck off! Fuck! No! No, shut up. Fuck me. Oh, I think I've torn muscles in my fucking stomach. Shit! Oh. I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to fucking need a minute, man. So, right. Oh. Okay, breathe, Kev. You a mess. That's a biker. No.
Coping so hard.
I don't even know if I pressed the right button. My fucking headphones weren't in. I don't know what played then. Fuck it. Oh. That's mental. That's fucking mental. We are cooked. We're cooked. As a species. Do you condemn Hamas, you know, the terrorist organisation, and the fucking Twitch streamer Hassan Arbi? It's too stupid to exist. It's too stupid to exist.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
What is this world we live in? What is this fucking world that we live in right now? I cannot fucking believe that. Do you condemn Hassan? Fucking mental. I don't know that I want to press play again, because it might make me laugh so hard I shit out internal organs. He won't condemn Hamas and Hassan Piker, because those two things are basically the same thing when you think about it. Can we rewind? Okay. Fuck me. Okay.
It's a great accomplishment. I hope the peace holds. The Assemblyman will not denounce Hamas. The Assemblyman will not denounce Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11.
epic dub.
The assemblyman just said in his response, well, it depends on occupation. That is code, meaning that Israel does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, no, I'll just say it outright. It fucking doesn't. Yeah, you don't get to have an ethno-state. Yep. That's true. Yeah. Absolutely. Sorry. You don't get to have an ethno-state. No. Fuck you.
Which he has never acknowledged. That is from the river to the sea. That's why he won't denounce.
I kind of want a clip of him saying from the river to the sea, just so it can be on the soundboard, but I don't know. I don't know, chat. I think it would be funny to do that.
Globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews.
Let's give Mr. Mamdani a
No,
chance.
it doesn't.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
To respond to that?
I want to be very clear. The occupation is a reference to international law and the violation of it, which Mr. Cuomo has no regard for since he signed up to be Benjamin Netanyahu's legal defense team during
True. Netanyahu's little bitch.
the course of this genocide. And
True.
I find the comments that Hassan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only to speak to journalists and streamers and Americans with whom we agree of every single thing.
True. Oh. Oh, fucking Hank Pecker getting name checked. Fucking mental.
They say we need to take the case to every person, and I'm happy to do that, which is why I was on Fox News yesterday talking about how I wish it was more like NASCAR, so we could see all the billionaires who are sponsoring you right on your suit jacket.
Yeah.
Finally, those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh? Hey, comrades, hey!
Melissa has another.
We're going to turn it to Sally. Yeah, actually, this kind of flows, and then we'll go back to Melissa. Mr. Mamdani, you told NBC's Meet the Press that you don't believe it's the role of the mayor to police speech. Your words about this war have comforted many New Yorkers, but they've troubled others, and I want to ask about some of this. There is your recent refusal, as we just discussed, to condemn the slogan, Globalize the Intifada, which many view as a call to arms. In 2017...
Well, it might be a call to arms, but there's a difference between a call to arms and kill all Jewish people. Because they don't want to kill all Jewish people. They want Israel to stop killing them. You see? There's a significant difference there.
You rap lyrics praising the Holy Land Five. These are men who are convicted of supporting terrorism. How would you assure New Yorkers, especially Jewish residents who might be concerned about this, that you would...
I mean, to be fair, he is winning amongst Jewish New Yorkers, so, you know.
...be a mayor for all? You have 1 minute to answer this.
Thank you for this opportunity. When I am speaking about the responsibility of leading this city, I mean leading not just those who voted for me, leading not just those who vote, but leading every single person who calls this city home. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers. And I have been so thankful for the opportunity I've had to sit with so many Jewish New Yorkers over the course of the primary and through the general. And it's in those conversations that I learned that this phrase evokes many painful memories. Memories of bus attacks in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I heard from a rabbi about their roommate who was killed on one of those buses. And in hearing that and the distance between that impact and the rationale that some use of saying it, of speaking about the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, is why I said that I would discourage this language that I do not use. And what I'm looking to do as the first Muslim mayor of this city is to ensure that we bring every New Yorker together. Jewish New Yorkers, Muslim New Yorkers, every single person that calls this city home, that they understand they won't just be protected, but they will belong.
Mr. Sliwa, we will get to you. First, I'm going to ask a question of Mr. Cuomo. While you are a strong...
Why do you say Al, Brody? You think that wasn't a good answer? I thought that was a perfectly reasonable answer. Like, he's got to allay certain fears, hasn't he? I think it seems fine to me. and saying like I don't use that language, I would discourage that use of that language, is like perfectly reasonable. I mean, it's respectability politics, but like he's trying to get elected mayor of New York. You need a certain amount of respectability, albeit that you all. I mean, Mario Cuomo was, but also this particular Cuomo was also mayor of New York. So you don't necessarily have to be respectable, but you have to have respectability. So I don't think that was a bad answer at all. I thought that was fine, really. He's doing what he needs to do. That's good politics. Brody, but this is the thing. I understand him not wanting to get into that discussion. Why bother? Like, it's not really his like position as a person who wants to be mayor to like do explanations of the etymology of this word and that word. When you're explaining, you're losing, essentially. He's just dealing with the potential optics backlash of you know that framing. He's not necessarily going to be able to reframe it. So just sort of like get on with it, I guess. Like, it's fine. It's a perfectly reasonable answer. It's realistically speaking, it's the only acceptable answer he can give while sticking true to his principles in a way that is going to be like allowable, because you could explain the nuances of all of this in an essay, in a fucking think piece over a double page spread in the fucking Times or some shit, right? But exactly, a time is too limited. He's got like fucking 20 seconds to get his shit out, and then one of the fucking two mafia fucking goons are going to jump in and say, you're an anti-Semite. Because obviously that's what they're going to fucking say, regardless of his answer. If he came out and just said unequivocally, yay Israel, they'd still call him an anti-Semite because he's brown. Like, you know what I mean? So he's doing what he needs to do in the available time and space he has to do it. And realistically, given those confines, that's the only answer that's really acceptable. You know? This reminds me of how the UK press treat Mick Lynch. Yeah, well, this is how all capitalist press are going to treat leftists. That's it. We have to come to terms with that. It's okay. You can say it's wrong, and of course it's fucking wrong. It's disgusting. But like 6 people own the media. You're not going to get a good outing as a leftist in the media. So you have to look at other ways around that problem. The internet is a fantastic resource. Podcasts are a fantastic resource. Create your own media. And when given a microphone, use it effectively. That's what Mamdani's doing. That's what I think, albeit possibly slightly less so, but it's early days. That's what Polanski's doing. It's what a lot of the kind of more successful leftists around the world do. The media can't completely ignore you, and whilst they can smear you, they do have to give you some kind of a platform. Use it wisely.
Strong supporter of Israel. You have also been slow to develop a relationship with the city's Muslim community. You have called Mr. Mamdani a terrorist sympathizer. How do you assure those New Yorkers, especially Muslims and Arabic New Yorkers, that you will be a mayor for all? You'll have 1 minute.
Yeah, well, first, I think the Assemblyman created the perception himself.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Why wouldn't he condemn Hamas? Why wouldn't he condemn Hassan?
Oh God, he's literally mentioning Hassan again. He literally did condemn Hamas. He literally did do that. What are you talking about?
Piker, why did it take us here tonight for the first time for him to say it? He still won't denounce globalize the intifada, which means kill all Jews. Just
no, it doesn't.
Say, I denounce it. He won't do it. That's the issue.
Mr.
And his
Cuomo,
divisiveness
can you address the question
is
that we're putting to
chronic.
you? I think you've made the...
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
I'm using that one quite a lot because I don't know when I'm going to get to use that outside of very specifically New York-based things. So, yeah.
The point, but can you please answer about your own relationship with the Muslim community? You did not visit mosques for many years. More recently, you have been.
Yeah, I don't think in any way the assemblyman is representative of the Muslim community, which is a vital community.
He is winning the vast majority of Muslim votes in the city, though. So, you know.
You are coping and seething.
In New York City, and I am very fond of, and I've been working with. I think he's playing his own politics. Many of his positions don't even.
No! He's playing his own politics. No, a politician is doing politics. Whoa! Crazy!
Follow the Muslim faith, so I see them as two totally separate things.
Mr. Mamdani, want to respond?
You know, it took Andrew Cuomo being beaten by a Muslim candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque.
Flex. Flex on him, King. Ruined. Fucking ruined. Look at him. He got violated on live TV. Oh, Spice World. Oh, that is the wrong button.
He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except
you know,
that is totally false. I worked with the Muslim.
Absolutely fucking done. Absolutely done. Cooked, fried, sorbet. Fucking just, it's over. It's over. It's Quover.
Community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
before I was here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc.
All right, gentlemen. Mr. Slewa, Rosario has a specific question for you, but I'll give you...
Beasted and feasted.
Zoran, this is what disturbs me about you. You will be celebrating your birthday this weekend. In 1991, I was in the streets of Crown Heights with the Guardian Angels for 30 days and 30 nights when the first Democratic Socialist mayor of New York City, that's right, David Dinkins, was a proud member of the Democratic Socialists of America, abandoned the Jews for 3 days. They were left to their own means. And we protected them for 30 days.
What the fuck is he... what is this twat talking about? What do you mean he abandoned the Jews? I'm sorry, were they wandering in the desert? What are you talking about? During the blackouts? Right, but like, what does he mean that he abandoned the Jews? What does that mean? I genuinely don't know what he's on about.
Days and 30 nights. Then your favorite mayor, Bill de Blasio, in 2019, abandoned the Jews again when they were being attacked in Williamsburg and Borough Park.
What is he talking about?
Crown Heights,
Mr.
and I had
Slewa,
to bring the Guardian Angels in for 30 days,
Mr.
30
Slewa,
nights.
Mr.
Jews don't trust that you are going to be there for them when they...
I mean, to be fair, they did vote for him. So, I mean, you're a bit wrong there, I think.
Victims of anti-Semitic attacks.
Okay. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani. We have a specific question for you from Rosarina, but Mr. Mamdani, please.
I agree, by the way.
One of the
what a surprise.
most meaningful experiences I've had over the course of this campaign has been the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about the door that they've had to lock that they had kept open for 40 years. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me on the M57 about an apartment this speech therapist was trying to sell when a realtor told her, put the Jewish books off the table. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about their fear in living in this city, and I will be a mayor who finally addresses that, not through the theatrics of the politics on this stage, but through action. I'll do that by ensuring that we have
Mr.
police
Mamdani,
officers
thank you.
outside of
I want to get
synagogues
to
on
a
the high
question.
holy days.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to, and we do have a specific question for Mr. Sliwa.
Wow, so you can, so those two dickheads are allowed to smear him as an anti-Semite terrorist lover, but he doesn't get more than like 5 seconds to actually answer. Embarrassing. Did someone hear the manufacturing consent machine about to overheat?
Rosarina.
Thank you, David. Mr. Sliwa, you've called for tougher policing of pro-Palestinian protests, and you've suggested that Mr. Mamdani uses languages that is anti-Semitic. How do you
A second question about all of this. Brilliant.
assure New Yorkers that you'll be the mayor for all?
Well, I've been there for all people in all times for 46 years as leader of the Guardian Angels here and around the world.
Did you know he's the leader of the Guardian Angels? He should have mentioned that at some point. The freak. Also, why is he taking his beret off? It's like the only fun thing about him.
Whether it is a religious violation of people's rights to worship as they choose in a mosque, in a church, in a synagogue.
What can we guess, chat? I don't know, but can someone find out for me? What was this man's opinion of the Ground Zero mosque? What do we reckon? Should we have a look? There we go. Curtis Sliwa was a prominent opponent of the proposed Islamic centre near Ground Zero, which became known as the Ground Zero Mosque. He was known for his vocal stance against the project, which he labelled with the controversial name in opposition to its proximity to the 9/11 site, despite the fact that it was not directly on the former World Trade Center site and intended as a community centre, not a mosque. So, you know, way to go on opposing people, infringing people's right of religious expression in New York City.
Or a shul, whether it's because of racial identity. Remember, in the summer of 2020, Asians were under constant attack because of the lockdown and pandemic. I don't remember Governor Cuomo coming to their aid. You were the governor then.
Maybe if Donald Trump hadn't called it the China virus, there would have been less of a reaction. Do you want to criticise that at all?
I was out there going into all the neighborhoods, Flushing, Bayside. We were in down in Bensonhurst. We were in Chinatown itself, where Asians were being attacked indiscriminately because they were thought to be carrying COVID. We protected them then. Governor, you were not there for them. De Blasio was not there for them. We understand hate. And in order to counteract...
Yeah, you do understand hate. It's your entire bit, yeah. I know.
Hate, you have to get the community involved along with the police to protect people when they're under siege. Jews are under attack now more than ever before. And I don't believe either of you have the capabilities of protecting them with increased anti-Semitism.
That is...
When you say Jews are under attack like never before, that's, I mean, demonstrably not true. Both worldwide and even in America. There used to be, like... Okay, the example. Anne Frank, probably the most famous victim of anti-Semitism ever, needn't have become a fatal victim of that anti-Semitism if not for the fact that the American government stopped a boat that she was on, which was going to be bound for New York City, to take her and her family and many other European Jewish people to the United States. The United States federal government rejected that boat and many other such boats, leading to potentially thousands and thousands of Jewish people who could have been saved dying, being murdered. by the Nazis. Clearly, Jews have faced a lot in recent times. To say that they are under attack like never before is a lie. Very simple. And you undermine the seriousness of both anti-Semitism now and anti-Semitism in the past by hyping it up in that way. That doesn't help anybody. But then you're a Republican. You're not in the business of helping anybody. Why would you?
Pure fiction. I passed the no hate in our state, the strongest hate crime law in the United States of America. We tolerate no hatred, no discrimination. We are from every place on this globe, and
Unless
we are
it's
proud
you
of
that's
it.
perpetrating
And, excuse
it.
me, and we're tolerating.
Epic dub.
Yeah, just fucking heckle him, man. He's talking shy. Just heckle him.
And we accept. If you notice, the Assemblyman still won't say he believes that Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state. He is a divisive personality all across the board. NYPD are racist. Barack Obama is evil, lie.
I mean, both of those things are true. Who says epic dub? It is actually, unfortunately, future Prime Minister Nigel Farage.
Epic dub.
It was from one of his cameos. It starts. The original clip is vegan sausage roll. Oh, cunt! It's 6 letters, Kev. 6 letters. Epic dub. Ekic.
And he gave the finger to the Christopher Columbus statue.
By the way,
What a surprise! Andrew Cuomo loves sexual abuser Christopher Columbus. Yeah. I am surprised.
Cuomo, your laws with no cash bail turn the haters right back in the streets to violate and attack again and again and again.
Thank you.
You're the reason for that. No cash bail.
You don't know
I just,
what you're talking about.
Thank you. Go ahead.
There have been a number of absolutely unfounded lies that have been said by Andrew Cuomo. I would just like a moment to address them directly. I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I've said that I will not recognize any
As a Jewish state.
I said that I will not.
As a Jewish state.
If I would be allowed to finish, that I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race or religion. I have made that very clear, and part of that is because I'm an American who believes.
Fuck ethno-states. You don't get to have your particular nicey nice ethno-state, because there's no such thing.
In the importance of equal rights being enshrined in every single country, whether we're speaking about Israel or whether we're speaking about Saudi Arabia. You can stand here and you can lie all you want, but New Yorkers know
You answered the question.
We
don't
want
support Israel.
to address some issues here.
All right, and we have another polarizing issue that we would love to discuss with you candidates. And let's talk about the National Guard here in the city of New York. Now, let's go back to Mr. President Donald Trump. One threat.
Okay, like, I wasn't going to say anything, right? She's got a very strong accent. She's clearly of Hispanic background. But you don't have to play into stereotypes. Mr. President Donald Trump. Mr. President Donald Trump. I'm sorry, are you Consuela from Family Guy? No. Need more lemon pledge. Come on. Come on now.
Hanging over the city is the deployment of the National Guard troops, like he has done, as you all know, in other cities. The NYPD commissioner has rejected the idea as unnecessary, but the president ordered troops to hit the streets of New York. Now, how would you respond? Mr. Sliwa, you have a minute.
There's no need for the National Guard in New York. Kathy Hochul, the governor, when we had a crime crisis in the subways that I'm well familiar with, being down there all the time, unlike my two adversaries.
The only thing that's in the subways
She sent 750 National Guardsmen down into the subways in 2024. Remember the horrible case of Debrina Kawar? Does anybody even say her name anymore? That woman who was set on fire by that migrant. As a result of that, the worst crime...
By that migrant. Would it have been okay if it was like a native-born American? Would it have been fine if it was a native-born American who'd set her on fire? But it was that migrant. I wonder why people call you racist, Mr. Sliwa. It's a mystery.
I've ever seen committed in the subway system. The governor did the right thing. She sent an additional 250 National Guardsmen, giving us a total of 1,000 National Guardsmen in the subway system, while our mayor, Eric Adams, was telling us it was all a perception. So Governor Hochul has responded. I would tell the President of the United States, since I'm familiar with cities all across America having guardian angels there, if you were going to send the National Guard, you don't need to send them to New York City. There are other cities that could desperately use their help in dealing with their crime crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Mr. Mamdani, how will you respond?
You know, I agree with Police Commissioner Tish in that we do not need the National Guard here in New York City. We do not need them for the purpose of safety, because if it was safety that President Trump was so concerned about, he would send them to the 8 out of 10 states that have the highest levels of crime in this country, but he won't, because they're all run by Republicans.
Burn! Solid. Solid rhetoric. Turn it back on them. Yeah, red states are shit. They just are. You vote for shit, you get shit. Garbage in, garbage out.
Where are we going? Garbage Island.
What New Yorkers need is a mayor who can stand up to Donald Trump and actually deliver on that safety. When Donald Trump sent ICE agents on people in Los Angeles, Andrew Cuomo said that New Yorkers need not overreact. That is the furthest answer that New Yorkers are looking for. They are looking for someone who will lead, someone who will say that they will have their back, someone who will actually fight for the people of this city. And that's who I am, because I'm not funded by the same donors that gave us Donald Trump's second term, which isn't something that Andrew Cuomo can say.
Double salute.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Mr.
Yeah, first, the answer in the subways is not more National Guard. I put National Guard in the subways also. It's more NYPD is the answer. But the National Guard is not...
You did
it's not
social
something in the
extend here,
National
yes.
Guard.
By the way, if anyone wants to contribute to the soundboard, there's a bit in the Discord you can go and check out. You can go and do that. You can post MP3s /WAVs. And if they're good, I'll put them on the fucking board. I might not use them very often, because, I don't know. They might not be that relevant all the time, but there's some good ones. Oops, here's a 1992 report on how Guardian Angels fake crimes. What a surprise. You mean Sliwa is not on the up and up? That's crazy. Link for the Discord, I finally signed up. Isn't it? Hang on, is it this thing? Hopefully. No! For some reason that doesn't work. I don't know. I need to sort that out, don't I? I need to put a hyperlinky thing or whatever it's called to the thing. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. I'll forget, but if someone reminds me, that would be nice. Yes, don't forget, if you're enjoying the content, you can do bits, messages, subscriptions, memberships, super chats, and all that shit. You get text to speech. It's all there, chat. It's all there for you. If you want to help support whatever it is I do here. I don't know what that is, but whatever it is. Yeah. By the way, tomorrow I think I'm going to be doing a football stream early, and then I'll do like a politics thing, which will basically be, I think, finishing off this debate, because there's no way I'm getting through this. It's fucking it's nearly 11 o'clock already. How long have I been going? I've been in 3.5 hours. Fuck me.
To do any real function. It's control, it's power. He's trying to say these Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and it's a political gesture by sending in the National Guard. He has said if the assemblyman is elected, he will take over New York. Forget the National Guard.
But this is
he
not
has
the
said, I'm
question.
going to take
question
the
is,
funds.
if they order the troops to come here, what would
Yes,
you do?
Well, I went through this with him. He sent the National Guard to 20 cities when I was governor. You know what city he didn't send them to? New York. Why? Because I said to him, don't you dare, we don't need it, and he backed down, and he will again.
So that proves a good relationship.
Wait a
with the
second.
president.
The president is going to back down to you, Andrew Cuomo. I know you think you're the toughest guy alive, but let me tell you something. You lost your own primary, right? You were rejected by your Democrats.
Even Slee was absolutely fucking windmill tomahawk dunking on him. That's mental. He's absolutely rinsing him. Love it. Love it. Nope.
And you have a difficult understanding that what the term no is. You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump.
I agree.
He does need to understand what the word no means, but not necessarily when it comes to Donald Trump, mainly with women. Although Donald Trump needs to learn that lesson too. So
Curtis.
You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump. Okay. And he can't stand up to Donald Trump, who knocked him right on his tickets.
You negotiate with him. You don't fight with him because only the people of New York City will lose.
We do have stand up to negotiate.
We have a follow-up.
yeah, you can't negotiate on your knees, lad.
I'd like to see a show of hands. Are there any circumstances where any of you would allow the NYPD to cooperate with the National Guard if Trump sent them to New York? Show of hands. Yes? No takers. Okay. Moving on. If history is a guide, National Guard troops in the city could trigger protests. And we have questions for each of you about how you would handle that. So, Mr. Sliwa, you have been arrested for protesting migrant housing and for trying to serve Mayor Bill de Blasio with court papers. How would your NYPD handle protests? And would you continue participating in protests as mayor? You have 1 minute.
Well, I have been arrested oftentimes in civil disobedience. That is a great American right. But demonstrations have a time and a place. And it used to be before Bill de Blasio, I know he was your favorite mayor, Joanne Mamdani, that you'd have to get a permit.
Did he call him Joanne?
Bill de Blasio, I know he was your favorite mayor, Joanne Mamdani.
Joanne Mamdani. Joanne Mamdani. Joanne is a very special interpretation of that name. Joanne Mamdani.
That you'd have to get a permit. There's a time period you were in a structured area. You get a sound permit. It could be turned around in a day. If there was going to be civil disobedience, you discussed it with the police department. And obviously, you had an opportunity of expressing your anger or your outrage at whatever it was that motivated you to sit down in the street, to block traffic or block an egress. Now we have...
Thank you, 255. Wait, in Cuomo arguing that you shouldn't elect a socialist mayor because Trump might threaten the city if you do. Isn't that just arguing for capitulation? Well, yeah, because he's a cook, obviously. Yeah. Yeah.
Rampaging groups that go running through the streets, that enter all kinds of facilities and violate other people's rights.
What are you talking about? When has this happened? What?
And there's no one who's willing to stop it. When I'm the mayor, there are rules and regulations. Everybody has the right to demonstrate. But you can't violate other people's rights, or you yourself must be arrested. And I would remove the face coverings. Remove those face coverings. Why are you afraid of identifying who you are as a demonstrator, unless maybe you're an agent provocateur who's been sent in here to cause chaos?
Thank you. Rosarina?
So there's your free speech party there. Authoritarian scum. Naturally. Tough question for Glitch. Oh, Super Tiny, we already showed that yesterday, yeah. We already showed Mitch McConnell. Like, honestly, just let him die. Why are they trying to keep him alive? Like, just let him go. Mitch, if you're listening to this, mate, move towards the light. It might look like flames, but honestly it's not. You're going to heaven, I promise. So just move towards it. What do you mean it's getting warm? That's fine, mate. You ignore it. You'll be fine. What is this? Oh, salutes in chat for Rusty. Eating apple cores with the seeds removed. Fuck yes, lad. Slash woman, girl, dog. Salutes. Let's go. I want to see it again. Do I have the... Hang on. What am I doing? Bookmarks. Did I not bookmark it? Apparently not. Okay.
Kidnapping them?
Move towards the light, Mitch. Jesus fucking Christ. America, the American Congress is just like, it's an old people's home at this point. It's just a fucking retirement home full of fascists.
The next question goes to you, Mr. Mamdani. You were arrested for blocking traffic in a
It's like Florida. And a retirement home full of fascists.
Palestinian protest, and you participated in a sit-in at Grand Central. Protesters offered block streets, bridges, and hubs like Grand Central. How much of that would you allow as mayor, and what's your line in having the NYPD arrest protesters? You have a minute.
Protest is a part of what makes this city's history what it is. It is a part of the First Amendment. We deserve to have a mayor who stands up for that First Amendment, especially as we have a president that's looking to shred it at each and every opportunity. And we will continue to have protests in this city, as we should, no matter who is the mayor. And the line will be on the question of breaking the law. What we have today, however, is an attempt to intimidate so many who are looking to use that freedom of expression to share their opinions about the city and the world around them. And to be frank with you, what New Yorkers are looking for is someone who can show leadership in City Hall. Because when they don't see that leadership, that's when so many take to the streets.
Tresca.
And if you had a leader like Andrew Cuomo, who was telling people not to overreact when they see...
Hello, Tresca. How are you?
The ICE agents abducting girls as young as 6 years old to deport them. Many New Yorkers will...
But to be fair, that's different to some other Republicans who just abduct 6-year-olds for other reasons.
Take to the streets. We deserve to have a leader who will actually be following through on the values of the city. That's the leader that I'll be.
Mr. Mamdani, just a quick follow-up. If you're elected, would you still participate in protests?
No, if I'm elected, I'll be the mayor, and I'll be leading the city from City Hall.
But no participation in protests, right?
The important thing is to lead from City Hall. That's what I'll be doing.
Okay. Yeah. If I may respond, because I believe my name was invoked.
A very brief response, and then I have a question for you.
I dealt with ICE. I stood up with ICE. I had a war with ICE here in New York when I was governor. And I stood them down, and they moved out. What the assemblyman is saying is he doesn't believe in law and order. He believes in defunding.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
The police, disarming the police, disbanding the police. That's who we...
Disbanding the police? That's a new one. disbanding the police, dissolving the police, exploding the police, fuck the police, turning the police into a fine puree. Like, what are you talking about, mate?
Years,
Cuomo, we have to
abolish
move on.
jails.
I have a question for you.
Abolish jails. Oh boy, what an interesting character Mr. Cuomo is.
Okay, 15 seconds.
Very
rebuttal,
quickly.
Mr.
No, we have to-
Mamdani, and then
we
we
have to
do
move on.
just 15 seconds because we have a question for Mr. Cuomo.
Mr. Cuomo lies again and again and again. I
True.
am not running to defund the police. I am running to actually work with the police to deliver public safety. Andrew Cuomo says that he has stood up to ICE. He has not said a word about the
Actually get
abductions
back
that are
to this.
happening right now.
He's referring to a previous comment you made, and we will get back to this. But Mr. Cuomo,
Right, we will also get back to this. I thought the police disbanded in the 80s. Hey-oh. That's the band of the police. Sting. All of that. Anyway, the point being, I'm going to go get some food and then go to bed because it's late. It's late, chat. Much like with Mitch McConnell. It's late. Anyway. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. I will pick this up. Someone remember, 38 minutes. We got to 38 minutes. Someone remember that and we'll pick it up there tomorrow. I'll do a football stream in the afternoon and then... I might just have a follow on. I might do a football stream and just go straight into the politics and it's one stream. Or I might have a break and then come back. I don't know. The last police joke did sting. Oh, I'll be watching you. Because that's a song by the police. Anyway. Who's going on YouTube? I can send everyone over to. I might put the football bit out as a thing from the normal island. I don't know. Stay tuned to the YouTubes. It might happen. It might not. Who's going? Oh no, Justice is going. I'll send you over there. Enjoy. Yes, and that makes the Twitch discussion very much easier. There we go. We'll go over to No Justice of the MTGs, who will be watching things that are different to the things we watched, because she's watching... Oh, Zach Polanski on the News Agents. That'll be fun. Yes. So, I'll be back tomorrow. Like I say, I'll be back early for a football-y bit. I'm not entirely sure what the fixtures are, but there'll be something. And then we'll watch, we'll do some politics stuff later. Okay? Is it a deal? Deal. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be motherfucking free. No, pass it around.